We help make our city stronger, more vibrant, and more welcoming. Today, we have an opportunity to make clear that San Diego rejects hate, rejects scapegoating, and stands with the members of our Somali community who have been targeted simply because of who they are. I will now turn to the background that outlines the circumstances that make this action necessary.
Over the last year, President Trump, along with many public officials and influencers, have engaged in a series of verbal attacks and policy actions targeting the Somali community in the United States. These actions and racist rhetoric have created widespread fear in the Somali community nationwide and here in San Diego, which is home to a large Somali American population. The use of derogatory, racist language to scapegoat this community must be addressed as it has far reaching implications. Every opportunity has been taken to defile the Somali community. In 2025, the use of vile language like calling Somalis low IQ, garbage, and saying that their country stinks, we don't want them here, is intolerable. The only Somali American in Congress, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, has been continuously targeted with calls that she should be expelled from Congress and this country. This administration has used these statements to justify anti immigration policies, finding a convenient scapegoat in the Somali American community. Somalis are Black, largely Muslim, immigrants, making us an easy target for racism, Islamophobia, and anti immigrant sentiments. Hate speech is not just limited to rhetoric and policies. These also translate into violence against our communities. On May 18th, the San Diego Muslim community experienced a horrific attack rooted in hate. The attack of the Islamic Center and school did not occur in a vacuum. Anti Muslim bigotry is a direct result of a polarizing political climate in which elected leaders, including the president and the members of Congress, have normalized the hatred of Muslims. It has created an environment where anti Muslim hate has become all too common. And without accountability, this hate turns into violence. We represent what this country has always expressed the best of us. We are vibrant, hardworking, resilient, industrious, and devoted to our families and the larger community. But to the president and his sympathizers, we are an easy target. This administration has used hateful sentiments to justify their crackdowns using ICE's brutal forces to detain and deport Somalis and other immigrant individuals and families. Shortly after Trump has made false accusations of fraud, Somali businesses across the country were intimidated and harassed by ICE, including Somali restaurants and nonprofits here in San Diego. We then saw the escalation in Minnesota over the last several months where mass ICE agents targeted immigrant communities with impunity. The entire nation was left with the false notion that Somali child care providers are bilking the government of taxpayer dollars. But every allegation against them has been subsequently been proven false. We watched these attacks. We watched these attacks become deadly with the death of Renee, Nicole Good, and Alex Brett. And if that wasn't enough, this administration has terminated temporary protective status, also known as TPS, for Somali immigrants, taking away the federal permission that gave them the right to be here while adjusting their immigration status. Suddenly, people who came here legally were undocumented.
In the early 2026, Trump used the false claims of childcare fraud in Minnesota to pull funding for childcare for low-income families in multiple states. He moved to freeze over $10 billion in federal childcare and family assistance funding, targeting 5 blue states, including California, Colorado, Illinois, Minnesota, and lastly, New York. This is the face of a growing need for childcare across the country and here in San Diego. There are over 4,600 childcare centers and at-home childcare providers in San Diego that offer care for our children so that parents could be part of the workforce. As for low-income families, childcare continues to be a backbreaking cost. The YMCA of San Diego County supports more than 10,000 local families through subsidized childcare programs. But right now, there are over 7,000 families on the waiting list for a state subsidized childcare in the region. This means only 3 out of 10 eligible families are currently receiving the help that they need. Let's be clear. This is another attempt of scapegoat in Somali communities to end much needed childcare subsidizes for low income families. Before moving forward, I want to give Council a glimpse into what Somali childcare providers have been experiencing. Somali childcare providers have been receiving nonstop harassing phone calls and voicemails. Some providers have shared call logs showing 50 to 100 missed calls. What you are about to hear is an example of a voicemail received by a Somali childcare provider. This is one of many.
Hey, criminal, answer your door. Why are you a liar? You should be deported quickly. You're a bunch of criminals and you need to be kicked out of the United States. You're criminals and you should be deported again. Nick Shirley burned you guys. It's funny and I love it. I hope you get deported soon.
What you just heard is not just an isolated incident. This is one example of harassment Somali childcare providers have been facing today. The next few slides contain statements from childcare providers and parents who have been directly impacted by this harassment. These are real examples of fear and uncertainty families are experiencing. Providers have reported people showing up to their home, filming their properties, following them in cars, and targeting them online. Parents are concerned about their safety, the well-being of their children, and providers are concerned about their own safety and the safety of their children in their care. I will give council a moment to review these statements. Trump's false allegations of fraud have had a far-reaching implication for Somali community as a whole, not only threatening their livelihoods, but their safety as well. Racist YouTube influencers like Nick Shirley, who started in Minnesota, have also come to San Diego to harass and stalk childcare providers. As you all heard from the previous slide, that's just one of the many hateful voicemails childcare providers have gotten. Some of these voicemails are even too foul to even play out loud here today. These attacks have continued until today. Nick Shirley copycats have harassed and stalked Black immigrant women using degrading language to describe their race. They're calling nonstop, showing up to their homes, following them in cars, and creating a deep fear that has altered the joy and safety once characterized by family childcares. Childcare providers are afraid to go outside, walk children to parks, or even open the door to their home childcare facility when the doorbell rings. Parents who once sent their children to these high quality neighborhood providers are afraid for the safety and well being of their children. As a city, we must do more to correct this harm. Today's resolution says no more. Not in San Diego, not in California, not in our name. This is a time to stand together across regions and communities to stop the spread of state-sponsored terror. Council President, Council members, City Attorney, IBA, and the members of the public. The requested action before us today is an adoption of this resolution. A yes vote does four things. First, it reaffirms our support to Somali residents and recognizes their invaluable contributions to cultural, economic, and civic life here in San Diego. Second, it reaffirms our commitment to being a welcoming city where every person, regardless of where they came from or how they arrived here, can live free from discrimination, harassment, and intimidation. Third, it makes clear that this council rejects hateful rhetoric, discriminatory policies, and targeted attacks directed at Somali communities and other immigrant and refugee communities. And fourth, it directs the city to work with childcare providers to strengthen security measures that help protect providers, children, and families who have been forced to live with fear because of these ongoing acts of harassment. This resolution is more than words. It's about making clear when a community is targeted, San Diego will not look the other way. We would stand with our neighbors, we would defend their dignity, their safety, and their right to belong. For Somali families, childcare providers, and community members who have endured harassment, intimidation, and fear, this council has an opportunity to send a simple message here today. You are valued, you are welcomed, and you do not stand alone. I respectfully ask for your support on this resolution. Thank you.
All right,
Uh,
thank you. Go ahead.
Sorry. If there's any questions, we also have a volunteer with the San Diego Police Department along with the Mid-City Division here today.
All right, thank you for the work and thank you for the presentation this afternoon. Clerk, please proceed with public comment.
Thank you, Council President. We do have over 50 speakers here on this item. If you can please come up to the yellow reserve seats at the front of the room, that would be greatly appreciated to help with getting you up to the microphones. Samantha Itsawa, if you can please come up to the microphone. Samantha, and then if I can have Kimberly Mullen, Joyce Senyata, Max Schmidt, and Ruth Kaplan, please come up to the yellow reserve seats. Samantha, you'll have 1 minute. Please proceed.
Good afternoon. My name is Samantha Itazawa, and I am a staff attorney at the ACLU of San Diego and Imperial Counties. The majority of our state's population are immigrants or children of immigrants. Immigrants and refugees are our neighbors, friends, colleagues, frontline workers, and teachers. San Diego has long been a place of opportunity and at one point hosted the second largest population of Somali refugees in the nation. Today, members of our Somali community are facing growing hostility and persecution. Local childcare providers are being targeted due to a nationwide harassment campaign. Anti-Muslim rhetoric is not only threatening livelihoods, it has taken the lives of members of our community. By supporting this resolution, we reaffirm our commitment to inclusion, dignity, and safety for all members of our community. Let this commitment carry us forward and inspire more actions to truly make San Diego America's finest city for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Hello, my name is Kimberly and I live in District 9. I'm here today in support of this resolution affirming solidarity with the Somali community of San Diego and standing against hate and discrimination. San Diego is strengthened by the diversity of its residents, and each of those residents deserves to feel safe, respected, and valued. No family should live in fear because of their race, religion, ethnicity, or immigration background. When any community experiences discrimination or acts of hate, it affects us all and undermines the values of inclusion, dignity, and respect that our city strives to uphold. I applaud this effort to stand with the Somali community. This resolution sends an important message that San Diego rejects bigotry in all its forms and stands united in defense of the dignity, safety, and humanity of all its residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Joyce Senyata.
Thank you. You see, I have no written comments. I'm speaking from the heart. Of course, yes to this resolution. And I'm so sorry about the child care things that are happening and everything else. It's so sad, especially when it involves children. But I want to tell you this. When that terrible event happened at the mosque, I found something inside of me that shocked me. I found hate. I really had never found it that cleanly before. I hated the haters. And I need your help with this because I don't know what to do with it. I've come out of it quite a bit, but I realize that it's in me, that I have that kernel of hate inside of me. And I don't want to hate the haters because that only hurts me and all of you really. So that's what I wanted to share with you, that I want to come from a place of love, and I don't know how to do that
Thank you.
fully. Thank you, and love to all.
Maximilian Schmidt. Then if I can have the following individuals please come up to the yellow reserve seats. Jessica Ripper, David Say, Kevin Veno, and Patricia Serrano. Please proceed.
Hi, I just wanted to offer some advice that could help all targeted religious communities, including the local people of Somalia. I believe Somalia is considered one of the most corrupt countries in the world, and I believe this could also help people in Somalia who are possibly being targeted, and maybe also help all religions being targeted. People, when they stalk you, they can actually see through your eyes through the third eye. And it's important to know that because they're going to try and say that it's technology or something, and it's not. And the reason why that can help you is because if you realize if you're surrounded by a group of people and you look around and they all have stiff necks, and then when you look at them, they make an exaggerated motion, it can make you subconsciously paranoid. It's called Zerzitzung. And many people think that they may be going mentally ill. And I think if the religious community knew that these people can look through your eyes through the third eye, they could know they're not crazy, and maybe it could help them when they're being targeted.
Thank you. I did get a submission from Ruth Kaplan, but she registered her position in favor and did not wish to speak. Jessica Ripper, if you can please come up to the microphone.
Sure, Jessica Ripper, District 3. Good afternoon. I'm here today from D3 to speak in support of my friends and neighbors from the Somali community who are experiencing unjust and frightening levels of discrimination and harassment. Since moving to San Diego 10 plus years ago, I've met Somali San Diegans through work, volunteering, interfaith celebrations, and meals together. Each and every time I've been welcomed, I've been through their generosity, and I've seen the commitment to making San Diego a vibrant place for all to live, work, play, and learn. Somali San Diegans deserve to experience respect, inclusion, and belonging in the city they contribute to strengthening every day. Please stand with us and with Somali San Diegans today and let them know that they are the beloved part of our community. Support this resolution, please.
Thank you, David.
Good afternoon. I am heartbroken for my community that today's resolution is necessary, yet here we are. It is absurd that we must affirm that our neighbors are welcome, supported, and valued, yet here we are. It is beyond belief that we would have to affirm that our neighbors should be able to live their lives without fear of discrimination and harassment, yet here we still are. And it is shameful that we should need to publicly denounce discriminatory policies and actions, or that we should need to specifically act to protect childcare workers and the kids in their care from targeted, intentional acts of hatred and intimidation. Yet here we are, here in my city, needing to plainly state all of it because of the actions and words of a shameful few. So as a board member of the San Diego Organizing Project, a resident, Mr. Whitburn of District 3, and someone who believes in the basic promises of our country, I ask each of you to vote in favor of this resolution. Thank you.
Kevin Vigneault.
Good evening, Council. My name is Kevin Vino. I'm coming here from with Our Time to Act. We're a youth-led 501c3 nonprofit and a resident of District 1, strongly urging you guys to unanimously support this resolution. It has been an extremely difficult year for the Somali community, from the attack on the ICSD to just the general harassment at daycare centers, and it is just we really need a resolution to support all San Diegans here today. No resident of the city should be living in fear for their lives, let alone the fear of their children while they're away at a daycare center. So please support this resolution just because it is the right thing to do.
Patricia Serrano. If I can have Aiden Este, Carla Flons, Maria Chavez, Miren Algori, and Johanna Hester, please come forward to the yellow reserve seats. Please proceed.
Good afternoon. My name is Patricia Serrano, and I work for PANA. I appreciate the effort to pass this resolution. We are living in unprecedented times where Muslims, blacks, and immigrants are being criminalized just because who we are. The rhetoric of this government against Somali is wrong. We as, we as community can stop discrimination of our neighbors, friends, and for me, my family. San Diego is a, we can show the country that San Diego is a welcoming regardless of religion, nationality, of color. Thank you.
Thank you. Eden?
Good afternoon. My name is Aiden, and I live District 4. I'm here today in support of this resolution because every San Diego deserves to feel safe, protected, and valued in their community. No family should have a life fear because of their race, religious intake, or immigration background. San Diego must take a clear standing against harassment, intimidation, and discrimination targeting Somali community. As a parent, I'm deeply troubled by the harassment direct Somali family and child care provider. Child care is an essential service and children should be able to learn and grow in safe environment and free from stalking, harassment, and invasive video tapping by individuals seeking attention through misinformation and harmful because.
Thank you for that concluding comment. Carla? Carla Flores, I think.
Good afternoon. My name is Carla. Excuse me, intérprete?
Sí, yo puedo interpretar por usted. Déjame nomás pararle el tiempo. Nomás si puede hablar en frases cortas para poder traducirla adecuadamente. ¿Puede continuar?
Okay. Vivo en San Diego.
I live in San Diego.
Soy orgulloso miembro
I am a member of
de UDW
UDW,
y proveedor de cuidado en el hogar.
and I'm also a daycare provider.
Y estoy muy preocupada,
And I'm very worried
ya que en este momento
now that in this time,
nuestros compañeros somalíes
our,
están
our companions of the Somali community,
están siendo perseguidos y acosados.
they are being persecuted and looked for.
Estamos viendo una retórica peligrosa
We are living and seeing a very bad rhetoric
dirigidos a la comunidad musulmana inmigrante.
directed to the Muslim refugee community.
Estas actitudes y palabras
These attitudes and words,
importan
they matter
porque difunden miedo
because they make everyone afraid
y desinformación,
and they cause disinformation,
creando un ambiente
creating an environment
donde el odio se normaliza
where the hate is now prevalent and normalized,
y las consecuencias
and the consequences
pueden ser reales
can be real
y tristes para ellos
and very sad for them
y para todos nosotros,
and for all of us,
pues somos una comunidad
because we are one community
en San Diego
in San Diego
donde queremos respeto
where we want
y
respect
debemos dar respeto.
and we should give
Gracias.
respect. Thank you very much. Muchísimas gracias. Next is Maria Chavez.
Good afternoon. My name is Maria Chavez. I am the Immigration Legal Director at PANA, Partnership for the Advancement of New Americans, and a proud resident of District 9. As an immigration attorney who represents dozens of Somalis in the San Diego community, I fully support this resolution to protect them. Our Somali neighbors have been the victims of hateful rhetoric by this administration and its supporters, and that rhetoric spilled over to stalking and continuous harassment by so-called YouTube reporters and others. They spread false accusations against Somali daycare providers writ large. These baseless accusations have harmed them, their livelihoods, and the families who rely on them for childcare. San Diego is better than this. As San Diegans, we have to step up to protect our communities given the federal government's failure. And this proclamation proves that we remain a welcoming and inclusive city and denounce discriminatory rhetoric and policies that target Somalis and all immigrant communities. Thank you.
Thank you. Miran Algori. Miran, you have time ceded to you by Abdullahi. If you can please raise your hand. Thank you so much. You'll have 2 minutes. Please proceed.
Good afternoon. My name is Miran Algorri. I'm a family child care provider and a proud member of United Domestic Workers. And I stand here today in support of this resolution because I work alongside my Somali family child care providers who strain our community every single day through their hard work, their cultural richness, and their dedication to the children and families. Somali providers bring invaluable expertise, language, and cultural knowledge to early childhood education. They make San Diego stronger, more vibrant, more whole. And yet, they're being targeted, harassed, and accused of fraud without evidence. People show up at their home with cameras, spreading false accusations and fear. We cannot separate these from the tragedy at the Islamic Center just weeks ago, where we lost 3 members of our community because of hate. Words have consequences. Harassment has consequences. The Somali providers and families in San Diego deserve safety, respect, and the recognition they deserve for the essential work they do. This resolution sends a clear message. San Diego celebrates and protects our Somali community. I urge our leaders to support this resolution. Thank you.
Johanna.
Good afternoon, council members. I am Joanna Hester. I am the Deputy Executive Director for UDW, along with, I am also the Vice Chair for Childcare Providers United. I want to specifically thank Council Member Sean Elo for bringing this resolution forward. Our childcare members have witnessed firsthand the threatening rhetoric and behavior of self-styled journalists who have harassed childcare providers and children in pursuit of YouTube likes and views, with no regard for dangers they are creating, and with the support of the President of our United States. Childcare providers are the backbone of our state and our country's economy. Without childcare, many people cannot go to work or support their families. Yet these providers are being threatened and harassed because of the color of their skin. Or the country where they came from. The resolution sends a clear message. Our Somali
Thank you for that
providers, they
concluding
stand with them.
sentence.
Thank you all so much.
Doug Moore. After Doug Moore, we'll have Chris Kennison, Rabbi Michar Rossbaum, Eleanor Franco, and Jermaine Corba. If you can please come up to the yellow reserve seats, please proceed.
Good afternoon. My name is Doug Moore, and I'm the Executive Director of UDW, a union representing home care and family child care providers, including over 40,000 here in San Diego County. The resolution brought forward by Councilman San Elo speaks directly to our child care providers, especially those in our city's vibrant Somali community, who in recent months have felt the impact of direct attacks on their businesses and lives because of racist accusations that they are committing fraud in their homes. Dangerous individuals who care more about personal attention than the safety of children have been knocking on doors and making baseless accusations against Somali childcare providers, all while being praised for it in Washington. Here in San Diego, we know our Somali community is a welcoming, valued, and essential part of the fabric of our city. This resolution sends a clear message to them and the rest of the community to stand with them.
Thank you for that concluding sentence.
Thank you.
Chris Kennison.
Hello, y'all. I'm here today in full support of this resolution, standing with my brothers and sisters. No one should be living in fear based off the color, religion, or country of origin. We deserve to feel respected, valued, and given the dignity that all people deserve. Since we're on the topic of childcare, Vivian, I asked you to get the justice for Gianna She's a 5-year-old Black girl with special needs that just lost her life last week in daycare. She drowned, and the story is swept under the rug. If she was white, blue-eyed, blonde hair, this story would be all over the news. And I'm here supporting her family, but I'm also here supporting my Somali brothers and sisters because they face the same things that everyone else in our community is facing, people of color, and they deserve the justice, so I'm in support of this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi. Rabbi,
Hi there, this is Rabbi Mike Rothbaum speaking to you, representing Congregation Dor Hadash. Esteemed members of the council, President Lakava, thank you. We have members all across your districts. The Jewish people were born in bigotry and slavery in Pharaoh's Egypt, in which we were treated as less than and our lives were deemed as worthless. This is Jewish history across the generations where we've been treated as less than human across the globe. That's naturally why I want to be here in support of this community, but it's also our religious teaching, which says that every human being is created in God's image, B'Tselem Elohim. When the president says that our neighbors are garbage who won't work and we don't want them in our country, we as Jews know this rhetoric. It has led to our deaths. We know this man, Nick Shirley, who promoted and defended an anti-Semitic video entitled, "I Exposed New Jersey's Jewish Invasion." We are, as Jews, are obligated to protest against any time our people, our neighbors, our friends are treated as less than. We need you to vote
thank you for that concluding
unanimously to support this.
Eleanor Franco? Elena Franco? Sorry. It's even my middle name. I should know that.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Elena Franco, and I'm here on behalf of Mount Hope to express my support of the Somalian community. I reject, and of this resolution, I reject the ignorant comments of our current administration regarding the Somalian people. These comments are intended to instill fear and uncertainty, and their intent is to make them feel unwelcome. It is important that we as a city speak up against this form of hatred and ignorance. Our city and communities are strongest when every resident feels safe, respected, and included. When any community feels targeted or marginalized, it affects the health and unity of our city as a whole. Please vote yes on this resolution.
Thank you, Jermaine. And then Safixa. Jermaine? Yep, please proceed.
Hi, my name is Jermaine Roca-Corba, and I work in District 9. I'm here today in support of this resolution because every San Diegan deserves to feel safe, respected, and valued in their community. When political leaders use fear and division to target Somali Americans, Muslims, immigrants, and other communities, the consequences are real. We saw that here in San Diego on May 18th when 3 of our community members were murdered in a hateful attack on the Islamic Center. Hate-filled words fuel hate-filled actions. That is why this resolution matters. It makes clear that San Diego stands with the Somali community, rejects hate, discrimination, and violence in all its forms. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next, we have Safixo Jama or Hama. If you can please come forward to the microphone. After that, we have Ramo Abdi, Omaira Yusufi, allegedly Audra, and Janika Faulkner, as well as Ted Womack. If you can all please come forward to the yellow reserve seats. Now, you have time ceded to you by some individuals. They can please raise their hand. Amina Farah? Amina Farah? Thank you. And Asha Ahmed? Thank you. You'll have 3 minutes. Please proceed.
Good afternoon. Before I begin, I would like to thank everyone who came here today to support our Somali community. Your presence means a lot, and I appreciate all of you taking a time to stand together against hate and discrimination. My name is Safia Jama. I live in District 9. Also, I'm a childcare provider with Union UDW, CCBU. I'm here today in support of resolution because every San Diegan deserves to feel safe, respect, and value in their community. As a Somali community member and a childcare provider, I have seen how harassment, intimidation, and misinformation can be affect family. Especially, I experienced myself. Few people call me, text me, and came my home. and harassment and calling names. As a small business childcare provider, children should be able to learn, grow in a safe environment, free from stalking, harassment, and discrimination. I support this resolution because sends a clear message that San Diego stand against hate and discrimination targeting the Somali community and all marginalized groups. I am also concerned about the harmful radical that too often scapegoats immigration Muslims and Somali Americans. Words matter. When fear and misinformation are spread by influential voices, they can create an environment where hatred becomes normalized. Also, today I would like to thank Councilman for taking this important step. I would like to also like I would like I would like also like to extend in my sincere care appreciation to Sean Oliver for bringing our community together for this leadership in supporting this effort. Thank you all.
Thank you. Ramo Abdi? Ramo, you have people seating you time. Fatima Said? Fatima, please raise your hand. Thank you. And Abdi Hussein? Please raise your hand. You'll have 3 minutes. Please proceed.
Good afternoon. My name is Rahma Abdi. I'm the Director of Organizing and Campaign with PANA, the Partnership for Advancement of New Americans. And I'm also a proud resident of District 9. There's a lot of our community who are not here today because they are afraid to come outside, especially after what happened on May 18. I wanted to thank our city council member, my city council member, Sean Rivera, for bringing this resolution forward, for standing with our community. Thank you for not staying silent when our community is being targeted. Your support and leadership means a lot to us. Thank you. Today, I'm speaking on behalf of Somali childcare providers, families, community members who have been affected by racism, Islamophobia, and anti-Somali hates. I work closely with Somali childcare providers across San Diego. There are hardworking women who care for our children every day. They support working families, run small business, and help our community thrive. But despite all that they do, many have been targeted with hateful comments, false accusation, and harassment simply because they're Somali and they're Muslim. As a director of organizing, I've seen the impact this hate has on our community. What starts online does not stay online. It affects people. It affects mothers. It affects fathers. It affects our elders, young people. It makes people feel unsafe, unwelcome. And I'm also worried about our children. When Somali children hear hateful words from a leader and public figure, they begin to question whether they belong. They begin to wonder if there is something wrong with who they are. No child should feel that way. Our community came to this country seeking safety, peace, and opportunity. We came here with hope. We are hard workers. We pay taxes. We start businesses. We care for our neighbors. We contribute to this city every day. We're proud to be part of San Diego. This resolution is important because it sent a clear message. Somali family belong here. Our children belong here. Hate has no place in San Diego. We're not asking for special treatment. We're asking for dignity, respect, opportunity to live, work, and raise our family here without fear. Again, thank you so much to my council member, our council member, Sean Rivera, and the other entire council member for standing with the Somali community.
Thank you. Omaira? You have people seating you time. Mohammed Umar, if you can please raise your hand. Thank you. And Nick Paul, if you can please raise your hand. You'll have 3 minutes, but if I can ask allegedly Audra, Janika Faulkner, Ted Womack, Itzel Maganda Chavez, Daniel Alvarado to please come up to the yellow reserve seats. Please proceed.
All right, thank you. Humaira Yusufi with the Partnership for the Advancement of New Americans. PANA is an organization that advances the full economic, civic, and social inclusion of refugees in San Diego, across the state, and across the country. We are founded, led, and staffed by immigrant and refugee communities, and we are proud to be multiracial and multicultural organization that seeks the meaningful freedom for all. I want to thank Councilmember Elo Rivera for bringing forth this important resolution to council. It is so important for our communities right now to feel heard, to feel, that our leadership is with us. So thank you for that. And I want to thank all the folks who are here today, despite the fear, despite all of the attacks on this community, they are here and so are our allies. So thank you all. The vile attacks that have been stated by this president and his sympathizers are just disgusting. And I hope we can all agree with that fact. The fact that not only has it been them, but it has been continuous flow of influencers who have come to harass the Somali community needs to be understood as to how invasive that is. Children are afraid to go outside. The childcare providers who care for children. I mean, my children went to daycare for years, and I just can imagine how terrified the parents are because they are scared to open the doors. They're scared to take kids to the park. They're no longer taking them to the park. They're no longer able to have the same kind of free environment, safe environment that existed before because of this kinds of harassment. And a couple of weeks ago, we understood that what this harassment can lead to as well. We now in San Diego fully understand from our 3 heroes' deaths and the recovery that our full community as Muslim community is doing right now, what those implications can be. And so what we are asking for is courageous leadership. We are asking for you all to support this resolution as a first step, but to continue to stand with our Somali community, with our Muslim community, with our immigrant community, all vulnerable communities. More must be done to protect us from harm. I hope that we all recognize this as a first step in that. This morning, a letter was sent to the governor's office asking for $20 million allocation. Councilmember Elo Rivera and Councilmember Lee, thank you for signing on to that request. We ask all of council to send that because you know what? Our Somali community in City Heights, many of the centers and the Islamic centers are actually not having services anymore because there is an increased number of hate that they're receiving. So
Thank you for that concluding remark. Allegedly, Audra?
So I wish people could see the forest through the trees. There is significant consequences for misinformation. And let's get it straight. There are Somali daycares that were engaged in fraud. There were. Not all of them, but some of them. And unfortunately, it is putting a stain on the community. And that is unfortunate because this has been facilitated by our own government. They didn't get the funding without that. They're not called Leering centers for no reason. And it's sad because it's like, this puts communities in danger. But if you guys could see that it's the government doing this to us, they want us to be divided. They do it to us intentionally. So it's like, look at us, let's look at each other as opposed to the people that give out the funding and that put us in these positions, because you should be mad at people in your own community who have been engaged in that fraud that are putting you guys in this position. And instead, we want to fight left versus right, white versus black, whatever it is, but we need to look at the
Thank you for that
culprits and it's
concluding
you guys.
comment. Janika Faulkner?
Thank you. Hakamayu Taminyawa. I'm Janika, a resident of D4 with Alliance San Diego. I am here in strong support of this resolution because every human deserves to feel safe, respected, and valued in their community. No human should live in fear because of their race, religion, ethnicity, or immigration background. Growing up in Southeast San Diego, I attended Fries Elementary, where I learned alongside many different cultures and religions. My favorite part of school was singing, "This land is your land," which the lyrics read, "This land is your land, and this land is my land." From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. And singing that pretty much every day in school That allowed me to feel connected no matter who I stood by, no matter the color of their skin, no matter their religion. I felt connected with my classmates. Every child deserves to feel connected with their classmates and the people that they're surrounded by. No child should be scared to go to school. The survivors of May 18th are scared to go to school.
Thank you for
Please
that
pass this
concluding-
resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Ted Womack?
Hey, everybody. I'm here in support of this resolution today because I'm concerned about the rhetoric being used against Black folks. This isn't the first time. It's not going to be the last time. And with the Black community specifically, you know, we're one of the easiest communities to target, not because we're weak, not because we're unorganized, but because there's often nobody there to stand with us and support us. The government that we look to and ask to for help is often not behind us. So this resolution is a really, really huge step in showing the support and showing how we can stand strong and be strong together. So please pass this resolution today and pass it to protect the members and brothers and sisters of our Black community. Thank you.
Thank you, Itzel.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Itzel Maganda Chavez with Alliance San Diego and also a resident of Golden Hill and City Council District 3. I'm here in strong support of the resolution before us today because every San Diegan deserves the right to human dignity, to feel safe and respected in the city that we love. No person should have to live in fear because of race, religion, or immigration status. While I support this resolution as an important first step, I also urge you council members to take meaningful action in your work. Last week, 5 of you ignored our calls and what would have been meaningful action. 5 of you stood against a budget that would have put people over surveillance. Surveillance technology that was supposed to help all San Diegans and irreparably fell short for the Somali community on May 18. Thank you, Council, for supporting this resolution today. I look forward to how you will unequivocally oppose discriminatory practices, policies, and rhetoric in all shapes and forms. Thank you.
If I can have Daniela Alvarado, please come up to the microphone. Daniela Alvarado. After that, if I can have Rachel Lozano Castro, Dale McKenzie, please come up, and Maslar Yusuf, please come up to the yellow reserve seats. Please proceed.
Good afternoon. My name is Daniela Alvarado. I am the Chief Operating Officer for PANA. Hatred doesn't arise on its own. It's cultivated in environments where prejudice is normalized, excused, or given a platform by elected officials and public figures. That normalization has real consequences. It emboldens those who would intimidate, harass, and harm their neighbors. Today's resolution is a statement of who we are as a city. I am honored to stand with the Somali community, who I consider my extended family, and affirm that San Diego believes that every resident deserves to live with dignity, with safety, and respect. But safety cannot be a hollow word. It must mean something real and specific to the people living it. And that looks different from community to community. From the Somali community, safety means more than the absence of violence. It means belonging. It means being seen, heard, protected, not treated as a threat. That is the standard that we must hold ourselves to. This resolution makes it clear that San Diego will not stand for bigotry. We are united in our commitment for dignity, safety, and
Thank you for that
humanity.
concluding sentence. Rachel Lozano Castro.
Good afternoon. My name is Rachel Lozano Castro. I live in District 4, work in District 9. We're speaking from the heart today. I resonate with my sister before. I don't know what to do with the hate in my heart right now. I'm a practicing Christian. I was in elementary school during 9/11. I lost people that day. There's other things to do with grief and hate than turn it on others. So as somebody who's not from here but has lived here in San Diego for over a decade, and somebody whose family has been in this country for generations, it's a hard time to want to stay in San Diego, except for leadership and solidarity like you. So thank you, council member. And it's whether we want to make the right decisions. It's whether we want to have people like me keep my business here and have children here. Are we going to stand in solidarity with our neighbors, or are we not? That's what we're deciding. So I urge you to do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Dale?
Hello, everyone. My name is Dale McEnany, and I'm here to speak in favor of this resolution.
It's important for our elected officials to use whatever tools at their disposal to push back publicly against organized racism and violence. American fascism today is based on organized racism and xenophobia, and there are few communities that understand that better than Somali Americans. I strongly support this resolution, but I hope the members of this council continue their advocacy in defense of marginalized people beyond resolutions. I know, for example, that flock is a really controversial issue, and I understand that there are people in this chamber who are seeking higher office, various higher offices. These are the tough decisions that you are going to be expected to make if you do want a promotion. I hope you encourage this resolution, but there's a lot more to do. So.
Masla? Masla, my apologies. You, oh, sure, my staff will come up and get it. And you have time seated by Mana Mohammed. Mana, if you can please raise your hand. Thank you. And Hafsa. Thank you. You'll have 3 minutes. Please proceed.
Thank you. And good afternoon, Council President and members of the City Council. My name is Masalah Yusuf. I live in District 4, and I'm here today in strong support of agenda item S400 and the resolution in support of Somali community. I support this resolution because of every San Diegan deserves to feel safe, respected, and valued in their community, no matter where they come from, how they look like, what the language they speak, or what faith they choose. No family should have to live in fear because of their race, religion, ethnicity, immigration background, or refugee experience. San Diego must take a clear stand against harassment, intimidation, and discrimination targeting Somali community. The Somali community is unique because our identity sits at the intersection of many communities. We are Black, we are Muslims, we are refugees and immigrants. We speak a language other than English. And for that reason, we are target for all these hates. Whoever hates Muslims hates Somali. Whoever hates Black people is going to hate Somali people. Whoever hates immigration and refugees is going to hate Somali. For that reason, we really go through a lot. All our families, our kids. So I'm also deeply concerned by the dangerous rhetoric used by political leaders and public figures, including President Trump and members of Congress, to scapegoat and demonize Somali Americans, Muslims and immigrants and other marginalized communities. Words matter, what you said matter, and specifically when you use a megaphone to call people such words. I don't want to repeat those words again. You don't serve my tongue to say what that guy in the White House said to Somali community. As someone who cares deeply about children and families, because I am the co-founder and the CEO of Iftin Charter School, we serve 600 kids. Majority of them are Somali people, Somali kids. And when those words were said by the president, actually their self-esteem was damaged. Imagine they watch TV and the president is saying such words to them, to their community. So for that reason, we would like you to support this resolution. And I would really like to express my gratitude to my brother, Sean. Thank you very much. And history will mark what you're doing for this community. And we deeply appreciate it. And thank you, all of you. And thanks for all the community members who showed up today.
Thank you for that concluding remark.
And you ladies, you are very articulate.
Thank you. Your time has concluded. Thank you so much for your remarks. Now Kabshima. Now, if you can please come up to the microphone. After that, I have Prosperity Land, Jana Wenberg, Ashley Mendiola, Petros Hagos, and Salio Usman. If you can all please come forward to the yellow reserve seats. Please proceed.
Hello, my name is Nao Kawashima. I'm Executive Director of the Karen Organization in San Diego, serving refugees and newcomers from Burma, and most of them live in District 9. I'm here today in support of these resolutions. When the Somali community are targeted and the anti-Muslim hate is normalized, we are all targeted and nobody is safe in this kind of society. And when Karen refugees started their life in San Diego in 2007, they struggle a lot just because they are new to this country. And to meet their urgent needs, we started a Karen organization in 2009 after learning how Somali community leaders organized the community and supported their refugee family to be included in the San Diego community. Since then, I continue learning from Somali community leaders, sisters, and brothers how to organize, how to support and respect one another, and how to be kind to all neighbors, no matter what their backgrounds, religions, ethnicities are. Thank you.
Thank you. Prosperity Land?
Good afternoon. My name is Prosperity. I'm here on behalf of the current organization of San Diego. I'm here in support of this resolution because every San Diegan deserves to feel safe and respected in their communities. As a friend of the Somali community, I'm troubled by the harassment directed at Somali families and childcare providers. As a longtime resident of District 9, I've grown up with my Somali refugee peers who are, by the way, very kind, hilarious, and generous, and they make a damn good samosa. And and they are now working in cybersecurity, in healthcare and finance, and are actively serving their communities and are arguably, 100% extremely valuable members of society. And my Somali friends and their communities deserve to be heard by the city of San Diego. I applaud this effort to stand with the Somali community. San Diego must reject bigotry in all its forms and stand united in defense of the dignity and safety of all its residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Jaina Wenberg?
Esteemed council members, my name is Jana, and I'm a constituent of President LaCava. I am here in solidarity with the San Diego Somali community and affirm this resolution against hate and discrimination. No one should live in fear due to their race, religion, or immigration status. And in addition to adopting this resolution, I urge the city to take additional steps to protect cherished child care workers and kiddos. I am also here as a Jewish member of Dor Hadash in support of our Muslim cousins. As Jews, we know acutely the ugly impacts of hateful rhetoric and scapegoating, and collective liberation is the only way forward. Thank you, and please vote unanimously to support this resolution.
Thank you. Ashley Mendiola?
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Ashley from the San Diego Organizing Project and a constituent of District 8. I'm here today in support of this resolution because nobody should have to live in fear because of their race, religion, ethnicity, or immigration background. It's heartbreaking to hear what my brothers and sisters are going through. San Diego Council, please stand in solidarity with the community. People deserve to be treated with dignity and feel safe. Council members, today you have an opportunity to take a clear stand against harassment, intimidation, and discrimination targeting the Somali community in San Diego. I ask you to please vote in favor of this resolution. Thank you.
Petros Hagos?
Hello, council members. My name is Petros Hagos. I grew up in City Heights with my Somali brothers. I'm here with City Heights CDC, and I would like to say that we are in support of this resolution, and we stand with the Somali community members who have experienced harassments, discriminations, and targeting. Every resident deserves to feel safe, respected, and welcome, regardless of their ethnicity, nationality, religion, or background. The Somali community is part of City Heights, and they're part of every community in America. And I know this because I grew up with my brothers. To see them experience this, my brothers and sisters, to see them experience what they're going through right now really affects us, and it should affect everybody. This resolution sends an important message that San Diego values inclusion, dignity, and belonging for our community, and it reaffirms our commitment to ensuring the Somali residents know they are seen, supported, and an essential part of our community. Thank you for your support.
Salio Usman?
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Saleh Osman. I'm working at District 9. Today, I'm coming over here to support this resolution. I'm here today to support the resolution because every San Diegoans deserve to feel safe, respected, valued in their community. No family should have to live in fear because of their race, religion, ethnicity, or immigration background. San Diego must take clear stand against harassment, intimidation, and discrimination targeting the Somali community. For example, in May 18, Islamic Center of San Diego, all of us, we know what happens. Still, we are healing. All our children who go to that Islamic Center, still they are in trauma. So we need to support this resolution to save for our children, for our families, and we need to go forward to inclusively helping each other. Thank you.
Denora Reyna? Denora Reyna? Please come up to the microphone. As you make your way up, I'd like to note for the record that we did have 4 speakers in favor that did not wish to speak, and 1 comment in favor that was submitted via our web comment form, which has been distributed to the council. Please proceed.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Dinora Reina, Executive Director with the San Diego Organizing Project. We're a network of congregations across the county, and I'm also a resident of District 8. I live in Nestor. And we're here, SDOP is here in support and in partnership with PANA and other organizations in San Diego, serving Somali and Muslim community members. With PANA, we've spent the last 10 months exploring the question about how to protect and be able to serve impacted community members from the deportation machine and the lawlessness of ICE and other federal agencies. So, and in our work and our communities of faith believe that every single human being is made in the image of God. And we believe that the families, the caregivers, and the Somali community in this moment is a community that is not being seen that way and is not being respected and protected. I'm here in support of this resolution and believe you all should. I think it's a low and small ask. I think the expectation of elected officials should be greater.
Thank you for that concluding sentence. Shalem Abudi Lopez? Shalem, right here?
Shalem Abudi Lopez, community member in District 3. I'm here to support my Somali and Muslim brothers and sisters. I say to my neighbors, you are more than welcome. You are San Diegans. And I'm here in deep support of this resolution, beyond just saying we do not accept the hate that is being thrown at us from every angle, from the highest to those that are online. We need to do something to protect our children. Every child should feel just as safe as any other child living in any other community. Every parent should feel just as safe as I did just right now as I picked up my kid from childcare. Everyone deserves that same level of safety and dignity. Vote yes today.
Thank you. That does conclude our speakers here in person, and we will now go to those participating remotely. I've started the 5-minute timer. We have 15 speakers in the queue. Starting with Min Mai, you'll have 1 minute. Please proceed.
Hello, my name is Min Mai. Good afternoon, everyone. I am also the board chair of VIT Voices, a local grassroots nonprofit based here in City Heights, District 9, San Diego. While our grassroots organization, VIT Voices, is dedicated to the development and empowerment of the Vietnamese community in San Diego, we stand in solidarity with our Somali-based neighbors. Everyone deserves a place where they feel safe and welcome, and we support this resolution in support of the Somali community. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Naomi. If you can please unmute.
Good afternoon. My name is Naomi Gemmel. I'm a senior staff attorney at the Child Care Law Center. The Child Care Law Center is a statewide legal support center. We are here today in support of this resolution because San Diego must take a clear stand against harassment and discrimination targeting Somali families and child care providers. Family child care providers should be able to work and children should be able to learn in safe environments free from stalking and harassment. We support this effort to stand with the Somali community against hate, racism, discrimination, and harassment. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Ellen. Ellen, if you can please unmute.
Hi, my name is Ellen Freitas. I live in District 2. I want to speak in favor of this resolution as I believe it is important to speak up against hate, othering, and profiling. These attitudes lead to violence, as we saw in the recent fatal attack on the local Islamic Center. I am not Somali, I am not Muslim, but this affects all of us. I did not feel safe when ICE raided my old neighborhood in South Park, when there were men on rooftops hunting humans. I did not feel safe when myself and my white-skinned immigrant husband were passed over by masked, armed ICE agents parked outside our door because they spotted someone browner. Violence and hate is not the answer. The Somali community, unfortunately, is experiencing this culture disproportionately due to their rich culture, the color of their skin, and their rich religious traditions. And I stand against that hate, as we all should. We need to speak up, and passing this resolution is a part of that. Thank you.
Next is Test. If you can please unmute. Test. Test, I can't unmute for you. I'll go on to our next caller. Via Voices, if you can please unmute. Via Voices, if you can please unmute. I'll only move on to our next caller. Crypto Bradley, if you can please unmute.
All right, thanks for taking my call. I would like to add another motion to denouncing the guys in Israel killing all the Muslims in the Gaza Strip. That would be something we could add to the thing, because I'm not for guys living in fear, but even the Somalis in San Diego don't have it as bad as if they were in Lebanon right now and the Israelis were bombing them. But anyway, I'm for the mass rapid deportation of all non-citizens in the United States. Wherever country you came from, it's time to go back, because Trump's winning the war and he's going to come back with heavy on ICE. Is going to really hit us hard in San Diego. And it's great. It'll be a rapid deportation. Everyone will have to go home and they can get their lives back in their own country and live happily ever after, not here, but in their own country.
Your time has concluded. Tristan Berry, if you can please unmute. Tristan Berry.
Hello, Council. My name is Tristan Beery, and I'm the youth organizer with Youth Will. I'm here today in support of this resolution because every San Diegan deserves to feel safe, respected, and valued in their community. No family should have to live in fear because of their race, religion, ethnicity, or immigration background. San Diego must take a clear stand against harassment, intimidation, and discrimination targeting the Somali community. Under this current administration, we have seen the adoption of dangerous rhetoric used to attack Somali Americans, Muslims, immigrants, and other marginalized communities. And we as a city cannot allow those in power to spread fear, suspicions, and false narratives for political gain, especially when we have seen the direct impacts of these kind of words can have. We saw this on May 18th when 2 individuals carried out a direct attack on our Muslim community that left 3 lives taken from us, 3 lives that had an impact much beyond their own because of how much they poured themselves into their community. We as a city need to adopt language that acknowledges the contributions of our Somali community. We need to promise to protect them, and we need to acknowledge that people are targeting their community, and we are refusing to be a part of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Youth. Youth Will, if you can please unmute.
Good afternoon. My name is Claire Snyder with Youth Will, and I'm a resident of District 3. I am here in support of this item and this resolution. All young people, all children deserve to feel safe, be able to learn and grow in environments that are free from harassment, stalking, and hateful speech. And this anti-Muslim bigotry didn't come from anywhere. It's fueled by our political climate, political leaders, and it should not be tolerated at all. Like many others have said, I encourage you to not only support this item, but also take action and stand on your words when you say you support communities. we see when you say something and then you don't do it. So I encourage you all to take action as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Blair Beekman. If you can please unmute. 5-minute timer has also concluded. No additional speakers will be taken after this. We have 10 speakers in the queue. Blair Beekman, please proceed.
Hi, Blair Beekman. I'm on the trolley. Hopefully my Zoom won't cut out. Thanks a lot for this item. Thank you for these efforts. I think this is an item that really can resonate in San Diego, and I think we can all understand and work towards ending this sort of dialogue and hatred in our local communities. So thank you immensely for it. With that said, I'm sorry if I'm going to sound like Mother Hubbard here, but there is an initial cause and purpose of why the Trump administration has been angry, at certain groups of people in this country who he feels are getting away with murder on welfare, basically. You can have an argument on the merits of that or not, but he wants to work out a better system. Why is that in its place, bringing in so much hatred and spite towards other people? And that's the real problem with Trump and their way of working. They may have one or two ideas, bring it in with 10 tons of all of that. That's not the way to define policy or bureaucracy.
Your
Good
time
luck.
has concluded. Liliana, if you can please unmute. Liliana, I can't unmute. There you go.
Hello. Hi. Hi, Council. Today, my name is Viviana. I'm here with Youth Will. I'm the Director of Policy there, and I was also born and raised in City Heights. I have a lot of love and appreciation for the Somali community and the people that I grew up with. And as a young person growing up in that community, today I want to support that resolution because they are important and a pillar of what actually being exposed to different cultures is like, and they also deserve to feel safe, feel respected and valued. And through this resolution, that's what they achieve. We also need to take care of our youngest San Diegans because there was a lot of issues coming up where childcare facilities owned by Somali families were being stocked. So I just urge you to support this item because of those reasons. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes your time. Carmen Penalosa Valdez?
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please proceed.
Okay. My name is Carmen. I live in District 9. I'm also here with Youth Will. I'm here today in support of this resolution because every San Diegan deserves to feel safe, respected, and valued in their community. San Diego must take a clear stand against harassment, intimidation, and discrimination targeting the Somali community. I'm deeply concerned by the dangerous rhetoric used by political leaders and public figures, including the president, of course, and members of Congress to scapegoat and demonize Somali Americans, Muslims, immigrants, and other marginalized communities. These individuals with positions of power are purposefully spreading fear, suspicion, and false for political gain, which in turn leads to consequences much beyond political debate. We've seen this most recently, May 18th, 3 members of our community were murdered. These are painful reminders that hateful rhetoric does not remain confined to social media, speeches, broadcasts. They inspire violence and tragedy. This resolution sends an important message that San Diego rejects bigotry in all of its forms and stands united in defense of the dignity, safety, and humanity of all its residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Karina, if you can please unmute. Karina?
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Karina Pugh, pronouns are she, her, and I'm calling today in support of this resolution on behalf of the San Diego LGBT Community Center. It has no place in San Diego. Our Somali neighbors are integral to the rich, diverse fabric of our San Diego community, and each and every one of them deserves to be safe, respected, and welcomed. As a community center that serves a diverse base of San Diegans and including our immigrants, we know all too well the feeling of discrimination and the constant fear for your safety when national leaders spew harmful rhetoric about your community. Our communities are under attack both through this false and dangerous rhetoric as well as through discriminatory policies that enact direct harm upon our communities. We reject this hate and we know that our strength is in unity. We will not allow this hate to divide our communities because we know that we are stronger and more resilient as one. To our Somali and immigrant neighbors, the center's doors will always be open to you. We respect you, and you will always have a place here in San Diego. Thank you, Councilmember Elo Rivera, for bringing forth this resolution. And to our other council members and chambers, please support this item. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Courtney. If you can please unmute.
Good afternoon, honorable council members. My name is Courtney.
My apologies, Courtney. We will restart your time. Every once in a while, I press the wrong button. Please proceed.
No problem. Good afternoon, honorable council members. My name is Courtney Baltiski, calling today with Children First Collective San Diego. We stand in solidarity with people who make up our childcare sector on behalf of children, families, and providers. We'll continue to fight for a system that works for all. And today that's especially important with this resolution, which we support and encourage all councils to vote unanimous on it. As an aspiring ally, it's an honor to be welcomed into Somali community, whether that's with family child care providers or with partner organizations. The warm welcome, the incredible culture inspires hope. And so today's vote is a vote for hope and not hate in San Diego. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next is Dr. Kathleen. If you can please unmute iPhone 143. Dr. Kathleen.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Dr. Kathleen Harmon. I live in the 4th District. I am 95 years old, and I never thought that I would live to see this happen throughout our community and nation. I'm begging the council to pass this resolution. Thank you so.
Thank you for your comments. Francine Maxwell, if you can please unmute.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes. Sorry. Good afternoon, Francine Maxwell, Southeastern San Diego resident. Thank you so much for the presentation and full support. I am hoping that after the resolution passes that the plans will be made with the president of the United States Conference of Mayors, our mayor, who has themed a city for all of us. Hate has no place, absolutely. So if everyone in the room could go over to the mayor's representative and ask him to reactivate the mayor's advisory groups. We learned a lot from the communities so that we can get a front of things that are going to happen. We are living in treacherous times right now, and conversation is needed on all fronts. So in full support of the resolution, the next steps are what's important so that things do not continue looking performative in our city. And that would entail that the mayor pull things off the shelf, implement more conversations citywide so that we can all get to learn each other and continue to move in love. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you. Next is 8813. If you can please unmute 8813.
Okay, we don't need the mayor to do that. We can do it ourselves. But anyways, Kate Consuelo here, and asking the city council to pass a resolution to protect the community. But the reality is that this council does not stand for truth or protection. It stands for political self-interest and public image and protection of itself. This is more divide and conquer rhetoric, where government positions itself as the protector and savior while continues to decline. Many people still believe and trust the government is here to protect them, but trust is built through transparency, accountability, and equal treatment for everyone. That's something that this board does not practice. And reminder to the people listening, responsibility for real solutions does not rest with government. It rests with the people, with communities coming together directly, honestly, without political manipulation. Sean.
Your time has concluded. John Stump, if you can please unmute.
Hi, good afternoon. Several of the speakers have called for, I support the resolution. I'm a city hider. Several of the speakers have called for action. And I hope during the council's consideration of this item that they call before them the criminal division of the city attorney and the police department to ask them whether they have sufficient authority and resources to prosecute, identify and prosecute these hateful people. Is it a crime in the city of San Diego to do these acts? How many people have been successfully prosecuted, and jailed. The district attorney should probably be called in and find out how many have been in prison for these hateful acts. Take action. Thank you for the talk. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Our last speaker is Ismahan Abdullahi. Please unmute.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. My name is Ismahan Abdullahi, and while I unfortunately cannot be there in person today as I'm in transit, I want to reiterate my support for this resolution. I think this is more than just a recognition of this beautiful community. It is an acknowledgement of the story of resilience, sacrifice, and belonging that the Somali community brings, and that hate has no place in our city. This resolution sends a very important message to this community, to the city of San Diego, and to the youth who are listening and watching the way that we respond when hate rises. It tells our Somali community and the youth that they are seen, that they belong, that their story is part of the story of this city. And at a time when too many communities are facing division, fear, and misunderstanding, this resolution is going to recognize the contribution of our Somali community and help build a more stronger, more united front and future for all of us. So I want to thank the council for considering this resolution, and I look forward to folks voting for it. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes public comment for this item.
All right, thank you, City Clerk, and thank you, those who showed up in chambers to speak your truth, your lived experience, and thank you to the friends and neighbors and organizations that joined in solidarity to speak with one voice on something that is so critical about defining who we are as a city, and I appreciate those who took the time to call in remotely. With that, I will turn it over to my colleagues. Councilmember Elo Rivera.
Thank you, Council President. Let me begin by thanking some of our partners who helped today. Kathy, thank you for your work on this from the City Attorney's Office. We very much appreciate you. Hamaira Rama with the Partnership for the Advance of New Americans, thank you for your work. And Lucky and Anissa, thank you. I think I wanted to start with what I know about the Somali community, and I think we actually see a lot of it in you too. Smart, courageous, strong, kind, family-focused, and community-oriented. The resolution is a product of your hard work. Very well done. And also, I want to emphasize the courageous piece of that, because it takes a lot for you to sit in those seats and provide the presentation that you provided. I've had the privilege of working with the Somali community since the beginning of my time working in City Heights. And time and again, I've seen those traits that I just mentioned. And one of the best things about working in and with representing District 9 has been the opportunity to stand arm in arm with communities from all over the world. And some of those folks are from cultures I've been part of or close to, and others that I've come to know and love. And in this work, I get to see and appreciate some of the common threads that knit people of all backgrounds into what I think is a really beautiful tapestry here in San Diego. And those are love and care for all of our children, the energizing optimism and imagination of youth, and the unrivaled power of motivated moms and grandmothers. And those are values that I see clearly in San Diego Somali community. I've seen the community improve the way our children are fed at school. Youth lead other young people in creating a vision for a better future, and workers lead and win campaigns that expand rights and opportunities for all workers. Over many years, working alongside folks evolved into trusted partnerships, which evolved into close friendships. Close friends became adopted members of my family. Mentees became some of my most dependable and irreplaceable coworkers, and the leaders of teams that we built together. I definitely would not be where I am or able to do what I do, and District 9's office would not be able to do what we do without San Diego's Somali community. At the same time, despite their strength and resilience, Donald Trump has repeatedly attacked the Somali community. Each round of attack seems to grow more venomous and more dangerous as he grows more desperate to distract from his failures, his lies, and his corruption by scapegoating vulnerable groups with no regard for the harm it causes. And of course, others from his regime and those who ride the coattails of his hate have joined his chorus. It's disgusting, it's dangerous, and it absolutely cannot be allowed to fester. The reasons why are numerous and should be obvious, but I want to point to the one that has made me the most angry and scared about the moment that we are in, and that's the stalking and harassment of childcare providers, the people who care for our babies. Dehumanization is the worst form of hate. It opens the door to what is otherwise unimaginable. When we make one group of people no longer people, the absolute worst things happen. I think the most stark and frightening example of when a community is being dehumanized comes when the children from that community are seen as acceptable targets or collateral targets of hate, violence, or cruelty. We heard about that happening here in San Diego, of the homes and facilities where children of all backgrounds were being taken care of, had doors knocked on, and men posted up outside demanding to see the children. This is something that no child, no parent, no childcare provider should have to deal with. And it's really important that we make that clear. So to the Somali community, I want to say thank you for all you've done and continue to do. I could not be more proud to be in community with you and call so many of you friends. I love you, and our city should show you love through action. Earlier this year, when Somali childcare providers were targeted, I did work with the mayor, the chief of police, and city attorney Ferbert to partner in ensuring that actions were taken to both protect childcare facilities and ensure that our childcare providers know their rights and their ability to enforce the law when they're being targeted with harassment and intimidation. And this resolution is another important step. So I ask my colleagues to support this motion as a first act of love from our city to a community that consistently shows and acts with love. With that, I move approval of the recommendation. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Council Member. So we have a motion by Council Member Elo Rivera to move the resolution. We'll go next to Council President Pro Tem Lee.
Thank you, Council President. And first off, thank you to Councilmember Elo Rivera and his staff for bringing this resolution forward in partnership with PANA and the Somali community. Someone said it in the audience earlier, words do matter, and they also have consequences. Our current federal administration has continued to advance rhetoric that seeks to divide communities. They help to reinforce harmful stereotypes, and they create conditions that have allowed hate, discrimination, racism, and xenophobia to not only exist, because let's face it, I think we all know that it's always existed, but to spread, and now to do so in the open. As many of you have shared, this rhetoric and the policies that have followed escalated to an environment where outside social media personalities have come to our city to target, to follow, and to harass Somali immigrant childcare providers in their places of work. And I especially want to detest, it is detesting that our federal administration and those who are seeking social media views and clicks, and then including some San Diegans, have specifically targeted childcare providers. I think many of us recognize that childcare is extremely challenging, especially post-COVID. We've had many stories of childcare providers closing. Many of us in the community recognize how expensive childcare has become. And that challenge doesn't even begin to speak to the challenge that's faced by those who are actually providing that care in our communities. So I want to thank many of you who are here today, especially those of you with United Domestic Workers who represent our childcare workers. Because of the few that remain, that work is ever more important to ensure that a community can thrive. Our schools, childcare centers, and houses of worship are essential community spaces where everyone should feel safe and welcome. And I think it's fair to say that the horrific attack that the Islamic Center of San Diego faced is a recent reminder of the worst dangers of the rhetoric that is brought before our city and our nation. and that we must come together when it comes to protecting our neighbors and exemplifying firsthand that we can build a society where everyone feels safe, valued, and included. So I think today, why this resolution is important is because it's our chance to recognize that our words matter too. And they have significance in allowing the city of San Diego to be heard. In doing so, we uplift our child care providers and our child care workers. We denounce hate, racism, and xenophobia, and we stand with more than 15,000 Somali American neighbors who call San Diego home. We also recognize that the Somali community has made significant cultural, civic, and economic contributions that we believe strengthen San Diego. And we celebrate the fact that many immigrants and refugees are an integral part of the city. Those are our words, and I hope that they matter as well. So thank you again to Councilmember Elo Rivera for bringing this forward, not just to PANA and the Somali community, but clearly to many of the partner organizations who came out today in solidarity and to speak in one collective voice. And with that, I am proud to second the motion.
All right, thank you. So we have a motion by Councilmember Elo Rivera and a second by Council President Pro Tem Lee. We will go next to Councilmember Whitburn.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Councilmember Elo Rivera, to you and your team for bringing forward this resolution. Thank you to both of you for the presentation. It is very important that the city publicly push back on the hateful rhetoric that has been targeting many of our residents. The attacks and harassment on Somali child care providers or the Somali community in general or the Black community in general is completely unacceptable. The thousands of San Diegans who are members of the Somali community should not have to live in fear. Several speakers this afternoon asked not just for words, but also for action. The fourth proposed action that Councilmember Elo Rivera includes in this resolution is a request from the council that the city work with child care providers to increase security measures to protect them and the children in their care. And I would ask the city make a concerted effort to work with child care providers to increase their security. One of the foremost responsibilities of our city is to protect the public safety, and that includes the Somali community. We also need to counteract these racist narratives by recognizing the significant contributions of the Somali community in San Diego. The contributions are innumerable across many sectors, childcare being one of them. Thank goodness for at-home childcare providers. Childcare is one of the greatest needs in our city. Thank goodness for UDW and Childcare Providers United. They make it possible for many people, including members of the Somali community, to provide high-quality childcare. Speaking for the 150,000 residents in my district, we are grateful for that. I will also highlight that here in District 3, as is mentioned in the resolution, the House of Somalia was accepted as the first African country to join the House of Pacific Relations in Balboa Park. That is a point of pride for my district and for our city, and that recognition is well deserved. So even as others sow the seeds of prejudice, I am pleased that our city embraces the many ethnic communities that make up San Diego, including our Somali community, and I'll be supporting the item today. Thank you, Council President.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Whitburn. We'll go next to Councilmember Campillo.
Thank you, Council President. I want to thank the members of the public who've come in today to share their words in support of the resolution, and thank the District 9 office and Councilmember Elo Rivera for authoring it. Would like to recognize what a good job UDW has done in organizing and protecting and advocating for the needs of their members, whether they're Somali or not, but of course, standing up for the Somali community. Also see in the crowd today our good friend, the Honorable Delfina Gonzalez from the Otay Water District, so it's good to see her as well. You know, I think having worked on childcare issues and with UDW on issues related to childcare, in-home childcare, the City Council supported a law back in 2023 that my office authored to make sure that landlords wouldn't take advantage of in-home childcare providers. The thing that really is so disgusting about this is it's intentionally focusing on a group of people who are immigrants, mostly immigrants, who are taking care of our children because they know the thing you love the most, the thing everyone in the public cares about more than anything is their family and their young ones. and they're trying to besmirch the work you do. And everything I've ever seen from the child care providers, UDW, Somali, or any of the other groups that do this in home care is excellent work. Their parents of those children rave about how good you are at the work you do, how their children develop, how they learn to read, how they have good social skills. You're one of the best we have as a community in providing this service. And you make it less expensive for everybody, which is like the incredibly stupid part of the attack on your community. Many of us have children up here who, and we know the cost of childcare right now. And I just have to say that in terms of the contributions that Councilmember Whitburn so rightfully pointed out, raising our children is the most important you could provide, and you do it well, and you do it at less expensive than many other places. And so I wish every San Diegan and American could see what I've seen in my district and around the city, that you're supporting economic development, childhood development, all the things we beg members of the public to help us with, you do it. You do it. So thank you very much for this, for your service to our community, for your union, for standing up for you, and for working within your union as well. And I'm proud to support this resolution because the contribution you make is improving our society. Absolutely improving it. So thank you very much. I'll be in support.
All right. Excuse me. Thank you, Councilmember Campillo. We'll go next to Councilmember Von Wolpert.
Thank you, and thank you, Councilmember Elo Rivera, for bringing forth this resolution today. I am very proud to support our resolution affirming our city's commitment to San Diego's Somali community, and thank you for being here very much. Our Somali neighbors are an important part of the fabric of San Diego. You contribute to our economy, you enrich our culture, raise families here, help others raise their families as they're struggling to access childcare, and you do it so well. You are very good at your jobs, and we appreciate the work you do. You operate businesses, you strengthen our civic life. Your success is our city's success. At a time when immigrant and refugee communities understandably face fear, discrimination, uncertainty, it is important that we make clear here today, San Diego is a welcoming city, and we welcome our Somali community into our city. Every resident deserves to live with safety, dignity, pursue opportunity, and participate fully in our community and our life here, regardless of your national origin or immigration status or where you come from or who you love, who you ascribe to. All of us deserve dignity and respect in our communities. We also stand firmly against harmful rhetoric and actions that seek to divide us. Words can turn into hateful violence like we saw at our Islamic Center here in San Diego when 3 people tragically lost their lives, saving the lives of hundreds of children. And finally, this resolution recognizes the importance of protecting our Somali-owned childcare providers from harassment and intimidation. You have faced unthinkable harassment. And I actually have a question for our police department who's here. And I'm glad we have the multicultural storefront up and running, but I do have a question. If someone from our police department can come answer it. One of the things we have to stop is people making money on social media for harassing other people. It is horrendous. And people do have a First Amendment right to freedom of expression in this country. I hope we can stop hate, but they do not have a right to make money. So how can we tell the YouTubes and the Metas and the Googles and the Alphabets of the world to take down these accounts so they can't make money by harassing our childcare providers?
Right, I think it comes down to pressure. It's putting pressure on these folks. It's set a tone here where we've looked into it from the city, on the city side as far as the PD. We've had upwards of over a dozen complaints of harassment from both internet as well as through the different organizations. We've taken them all seriously, documented all of them, and sent them up through the city attorney's office. I think it comes down to pressure, just putting pressure on these entities. So,
well, let us know how we can help. I'm happy to send this resolution to all of the tech companies, which are based in California, which need to learn what they're doing is wrong. So I just think it's horrible and people should not be able to make money off this. But thank you, and we're happy to help sign on to any effort we can. I want to thank UDW for being here today and for being union proud. We need more labor protections in this country to stop people from harassing others on the job. And thank you to Ms. Harmon for being here too. And even at, in 90, 94, 95 years young, you're still out advocating. So I appreciate you, Ms. Harmon, for being here. And it is terribly scary when the President of the United States has made hateful, horrible, and just plain ignorant statements about our Somali community. But it's not just the White House. And that's what's getting scarier and scarier. Hateful rhetoric against our Muslim community is growing in national politics, and it should scare all of us. I'm not going to repeat what they said because their words do not deserve to be repeated. But we have U.S. representatives in Congress, such as Brandon Gill in Texas, Senator Tommy Tuberville in Alabama, Representative Randy Fine in Florida, and Andy Olgis in Tennessee, who have all faced horrible backlash for their horrible anti-Muslim posts and have made incredibly hateful Islamophobic comments. We must reject their hate. There is no place for Islamophobic comments in our United States government. What worries me even more is the trend we're seeing in national politics is changing. Speaker Johnson and his leadership have shown no interest in reprimanding any of these members of Congress for their hate, none. And this is a change from 2019 when we saw then Speaker or Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy here in California and his leadership team booted a horrible man named Representative Stephen King in Iowa off of all of his congressional committees after he questioned publicly whether white supremacy should come back to this country. He faced consequences then. They are not facing consequences now, and it is deeply scary. But here in San Diego, we're going to push back. And today, on behalf of the council, thank you again to Councilor Shani Lovera. Thank you so much for everyone who presented and all the hard work you put into this. We stand with our Somali community. We value you. We see you. And I'm proud to support this resolution.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Von Wilpert. We'll go next to Councilmember Campbell.
Thank you so much. I want to say that I'm in complete agreement with all of the words that my colleagues have said. Welcome to America. That's what all Americans should be saying. Welcome, and we're glad you came. And we want you to know that we believe everyone is created equal. And we have had a hard time in this country, if you look at our 250-year history, and living up to our promise. And I want you to know that we in San Diego will live up to our promise. We will stand up with you. We will fight with you. We believe in you. We are your neighbors, your friends, your brothers, your sisters. We are all one people. And we believe that, and we live it. And as old as I am, I'm telling you, I'm 80 years old. I'm not as old as Catherine. She's my hero. But Catherine and I, when we had young children, we didn't have good in-home child care. And I want to thank you for providing that and the safety for those children. Thank you so much. I don't know how long some of you have been here, but if it's less than 12 years or so, you have lived under this Trump. And he does not represent our country. And our only power as citizens is our vote. And the only way we have power is to use our vote. And so those of you who can vote, please remember, it's so important. It really is our only power in a big democracy. So let us work hard. Let us get out the vote next time. Let us make sure we never have another demagogue, another follower of Hitler, another Hitler, certainly not in this country, ever. We are all one, and we are together with you. Thank you.
Councilmember Ela Rivera.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to say thank you to my colleagues for the comments you've made, the support you've shown. I also wanted to make sure that I relayed the appreciation from the Somali community to United Domestic Workers. I'd intentionally like tried to keep it as much about the Somali community leaders as possible. But as is the case with our Somali community, they wanted to make sure that that appreciation was shown. And that plays itself out in a multitude of ways, obviously supporting the childcare providers, but also just providing community space for Eid, for other important community celebrations. So I want to say thank you for that. Again, very much like our leaders within the community to make sure that that appreciation was spread as wide as possible. So thank you again to my colleagues. Thank you to all the allies who showed up today. Very, very appreciative for the way this conversation has happened. I'll hand it back to you, Council President. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Elo Rivera. So I'll jump in here to close it out. Thank you, Councilmember, for your work, the work of your amazing staff in District 9, who time and time again help lead us into these conversations that are so very important. Thank you to Panna and your leadership over the years and what you've done and what you've taught me. We don't always agree, but you have taught me an awful lot since the first time I went to a Panna rally years and years ago. Thank you again, as I said at the onset, to all of you who showed up, who took the time to show up, to show that collective solidarity about what is happening with the Somali community, what is happening with the child care providers, and to push back against people who are trying to fill an empty soul and an empty heart with hate and rhetoric because they think that makes them more important. And as my colleagues have said, we live in a very challenging time where social media spreads like wildfire and people can hide behind the anonymity of social media and make themselves try to feel good while they impose hate and rhetoric. And as many of you said, words matter, because it's not only that hateful words, but it's when it gets translated to action. And people who think they have a mandate because they heard something on social media or they hear it over and over again, they think that gives them direction. They think it gives them purpose when they so sadly do not. And to the hate that you are exposed to, that you feel, and as my colleagues, as each of you pointed out, and as my colleagues pointed out, child care providers, you have the most precious gift that you take care of on behalf of us, our children, our next generation. And the love and support that you impose on them as a child care provider is what gives me hope going forward that we are raising our children in a way that will overwhelm this awfulness. And while I appreciate Councilmember Von Wilpert and the officer from PD, when you have the social media giants in the back pocket of this president, it can be daunting at times to think that there will be an end to this. But we've got 2.5 years, if we can survive that, and I know we will, that we can change this course of this country back to what the original vision was. And so we appreciate each and every one of you, despite some of the challenges we have in balancing the laws of our city, our state, our country. We will continue to look for ways to be supportive, to be protective, to go after those who would seek to do harm and ill will there. So I do appreciate the police department, your attention to this, the city attorney's office, and even to the district attorney in those good efforts. So we, using the words of others that are smarter and more eloquent than me, we will overcome this challenge. Constantly reach out to each of our districts if we can be help and support in any way. And I think there's a letter out there. I would be happy to co-sign it if it is helpful in moving that financial support forward. So with that, we have a motion by Councilmember Elo Rivera and a second by Council President Pro Tem Lee. Please call the roll.
I'm sorry, the voting system, please cast your vote. My apologies, may I get your vote for the record, Councilmember? And that passes unanimously 8-0 with Councilmember Foster absent. Thank you, Council President.
You're going to stay for the next item. I'm so excited. Oh, well, let's just pause for a moment and give these good folks a chance to. All right. Clerk, please introduce items 201 and 202.
Thank you, Council President. Item 201 is the fiscal year 2027 Maintenance Assessment District's annual reports for Parks and Recreation Department. And item 202 is the fiscal year 2027 Maintenance Assessment District annual reports for the Economic Development Department. If you'd like to speak to these items, now's the time to raise your hand by pressing *9 or the raise your hand icon, or if you're here in council chambers, to submit your speaker slip to the front of the room in the clear box. Thank you, Council President.
All right, thank you, City Clerk. For these items, we will take the staff presentations together. Public testimony and council comment on these items will also be taken together, and then we'll take separate votes on each item. So with that, staff, please introduce yourselves for the record and let us know how much time you need for the joint presentation.
Good afternoon, council members. Thank you for your time today. My name is Michael Jones, and with me is Ria Aguinaldo, and for our presentation will require approximately 7 minutes.
All right, when you're ready.
Thank you. A maintenance assessment district, or MAD, is a legal mechanism to allow property owners the ability to fund improvements and activities within a boundary defined by an assessment engineer. These districts take on many scopes of service, several of which are shown here. Landscaping is the most common type of improvement, generally occurring in medians, parks, and rights-of-way. MADs operate with legal authority to engage in improvements and activities under the guidance of legislation at both the state and local levels. State law, the municipal code, and city council policy are each written to allow districts maximum operational flexibility. A primary goal of these policies is to give communities the ability to offer virtually any type of feasible improvement or activity. Next, I'd like to turn it over to Ria to cover the next section. Ria?
Thank you, Mike. Good afternoon, council members. There are 64 maintenance assessment districts in the city of San Diego, of which 54 receive oversight from the Parks and Recreation Department and 10 from the Economic Development Department. MADs are located in every council district from the border to the northernmost parts of the city. The city's assessment areas map is an interactive tool available to the public to locate MADs operating citywide. Economic development MADs, shown here in blue, are located in commercial areas, providing related services such as beautification, retail retention, and district branding through seasonal banners. Parks and Recreation MADs, shown in yellow, operate primarily in residential neighborhoods. Oversight and accountability are key components to managing a MAD, as each district is governed by its own engineer's report and assessment structure. To support this, the city uses various contract types to administer services and activities. For Parks and Recreation MADs, the districts are managed by city staff, with service delivery through contracts with for-profit vendors. Bird Rock and Savita are the exceptions, managed by nonprofit organizations. For economic development, the districts primarily operate under management agreements with nonprofit organizations with service delivery provided by staff or through subcontracted vendors. All 10 economic development MADs will be managed by nonprofits in fiscal year 27, including Barrio Logan and Central Commercial, which will transition from city management. 7 economic development MADs are managed by local business associations that also manage a business improvement district. This shared management structure allows them to coordinate resources and district priorities and leverage assessments to bring additional investments to those communities. The next 2 slides highlight the visible impact of MADs in their communities. Parks and Recreation MADs shown here support the maintenance and beautification of landscaped areas, parks, and medians. These districts are well positioned to coordinate with city departments and local stakeholders, helping deliver services effectively and aligned with neighborhood service needs. Economic development MADs shown here contribute to cleaner and more welcoming business districts. Landscape maintenance, sidewalk cleaning, and beautification are some examples of day-to-day services shown on this slide. Most districts also offer opportunities for community and property owners to get involved, such as through neighborhood cleanups and district walkthroughs, which help guide service priorities. With that, I'll turn it back over to Michael.
Thank you, Ria. Each district is formed with an accompanying assessment engineer's report and is implemented upon a successful vote of affected property owners. This is effectively the governing document that specifies which improvements can occur and at what frequencies. The difference between general and special benefit is an important point of distinction. MADs may only fund those services which are above the city standard and confer a special benefit to assessment payers. The engineer's report is updated annually to include new parcel data, changes in land use, and an updated budget for each district. It is important to note that assessments may increase, decrease, or remain the same based upon the needs of the district and fiscal considerations. Some elements of the report, such as boundaries, assessment methodology, locations, and service frequencies may not be updated through the annual process. These changes in assessment levies are shared with community members, stakeholders, or advisory committees associated with one or multiple districts. The proposed actions before the council today for item 2 include the approval of the fiscal year 2027 annual reports. In addition, the department seeks authorization to allow the CFO to expend funds and collect revenues that will sustain the operations of all 54 districts under Parks and Recreation oversight. Additionally, the council would allow the CFO via the department to execute the manual billing of property owners who do not receive a property tax bill.
For item 202, proposed actions include approval of the fiscal year 2027 annual reports for the Economic Development Department, authorize the CFO to appropriate and expend MAD funds, and manually bill the property owners not billed by the county. Proposed actions 4 and 5 request consideration to waive MAD Council Policy 100-21 for Little Italy and Adams Avenue MADs, allowing each district's operating reserve to fall below the required minimum of 10% of operating expenditures.
The proposed actions ensure each of our departments' ability to submit the assessments to the county by the August 10th deadline for inclusion on the owner's property tax bill. All of this ensures a seamless continuity of service. For more information, members of the public can visit each department's webpage and the interactive map outlining district boundaries. These are all useful resources for learning more about the Maintenance Assessment District program here in San Diego. And finally, this concludes our presentation. We appreciate your time today. Thank you.
All right, thank you for the presentation and thank you for the work to bring forward these annual reports. With that, clerk, please go to public comment.
Thank you, Council President. Maximilian Schmidt, if you can please come forward. You'll have 2 minutes to speak on both items 201 and 202. After that, we have Petros Hagos and Ben Nichols. You can come forward to the yellow reserve seats at the front, ending with allegedly Audra. Please proceed.
Using property tax for landscaping, maintenance, and cleaning of parks, and what you're calling the beautification of parks, I think it's important that we call out something else that is going on in San Diego's and parks across the whole world, really. This is also happening in mainland China. They're trying to make the occult actually designed the buildings and created the buildings surrounding the parks and the buildings and the architecture in the parks. And they're actually trying to make the buildings look two-dimensional. This type of architecture is called brutalism. And the reason they're trying to do that is because if someone's depth perception is messed with, they can disassociate easier and be mind controlled easier, or be influenced to think a certain way by telepathic people, because the majority of the West Coast are telepaths who may try to influence someone to be liberal or to be a socialist. And I just wanted to say that also the buildings are designed to make you afraid to look at the sky, where there's many unnecessary right angles built into the architecture as well, so that when you look up at the sky, it's almost like a dagger or a right angle like coming down on you to make the sky look jagged, so you're afraid to look at the sky. So I just know that a lot of people who are escaping from cults and trying to enjoy our parks, I may be able to help people if I let them know that don't be afraid to look at the sky, even if there's a giant ominous building hovering over you with right angles hanging off it unnecessarily, and that has intense brutalism architecture that looks two-dimensional to make you dissociate. Do not be afraid to look at the skies in our parks. And I feel like education like this, if we're going to be taking property tax for extra property tax for landscaping, maintenance, and cleaning and the beautification of our parks, I think that we can help people with a message of when you enjoy San Diego's parks, don't be afraid to look at the sky. And I say that because they're building buildings to intentionally make it hard to look at the sky.
Next is Petros Hagos. You are speaking on item 202. So you'll have 1 minute.
Hello, council members. My name is Petros. I work for City High CDC as a program manager overseeing the Maintenance Assessment District. The Maintenance Assessment District plays a critical role in keeping City Heights clean and safe and welcoming through services such as graffiti removal, litter abatement, legal dumping responses, landscaping, and corridor beautification. The district improves quality of life while serving as a direct conduit between residents, businesses, and community concerns to ensure issues are addressed efficiently and rapidly. These efforts go beyond appearances. Clean and well-maintained corridors promote walkability, strength, community pride, improve public safety, and contribute to a more vibrant local economy. I'm also proud to share that this year we've organized 5 community cleanups, 2 beautification events, with additional cleanups and beautification events coming up in the near future called Beautify the Block. These efforts have brought students, residents, businesses, and community partners together to work collectively towards a cleaner community. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ben Nichols.
Hello, my name is Benjamin Nichols, and I'm with the Hillcrest Business Association. I'm here today to urge your support for the Maintenance Assessment District program administered by Economic Development Department. Since our district's formation several years ago, we have built a robust suite of clean and safe programs. These include monthly sidewalk steam cleaning, daily trash pickup, annual tree trimming, security patrols, and after-hours on-call security services. We have also filled every vacant tree well in Hillcrest. We've removed hundreds of graffiti tags every week, and we continue to maintain the iconic Hillcrest sign and the Hillcrest Pride flag. I'm happy to note that the HBA has managed to keep funding for administrative overhead at less than 10% of the budget. I hope the council will feel the same about the importance of this program and vote to support the item. Thank you.
Thank you. Allegedly, Audra, you'll have 2 minutes speaking on items 201 and 202.
So exciting becoming a target of the Somali community now, whatever. Just for being here. It's great. Yeah, so these, districts that you guys create, I mean, the problem is that you guys engage with these nonprofits. They're all for profit, so I don't even know why we say that they're not. And there is fraud, waste, and abuse with the nonprofits. And it's like, we want to sit here and say that there is no fraud, waste, and abuse going on, and we're targeting people. Yes, people are being targeted, but there is fraud happening. And it's like, you can't even expose it. No, Jennifer, there's no fraud happening at all. None. Absolutely not. Or is it just with Trump? See, that's the thing. You'll say with Trump there is, But if it involves anybody else, there isn't. And that's a significant problem because we should be talking about these things. Instead, we brush it under the rug and say it's like a racist thing to talk about. No, it's happening across the board. And again, I shouldn't be a target because of that. That's not fair. It's like that's what you guys do, though. You come in and you sow discord with the people so that we fight each other instead of looking at you guys for doing what you're doing. That money from these daycares was given by the government. And it's like, it's just ridiculous that we like want to pretend like everything is just good and cupcakes and rainbows. It's just Trump. That man's got to get out of here. Those problems existed before he was here. And the fact that you guys want to sit up there on your dais and act like that's not true, shame on you. Woe to you guys for lying to the people and acting like you have nothing to do with it. It's a disgrace. People will have their homes taken if they don't pay this tax, but if you don't provide what needs to be, ain't nothing going to happen.
So starting the 5-minute timer, going to those participating remotely, starting with Hector, if you can please unmute.
All right, I'll speak on both things. Yeah, we should assess any illegal aliens that are associated with these businesses and towns, double the assessment rate. If you're an American citizen, you get 1,000. And if you're an illegal alien or harboring them or waiting on your visa or scamming your green card, double the assessment value and pay a bonus for people that expose them. So if you know someone who's doing it, you get 50% of the fine, the actual person. It'd be like a bounty hunter. And those 2 Somali girls were lying on the stand that said that $20 billion was fake, that Trump was making up those $20 billion fraud scams off the government. That was a blatant lie. But I was going to try to make it lighter. And have you guys heard any Somali jokes? Like, how many Somalis does it take to screw in a light?
Next caller is Blair Beekman. If you can please unmute.
Hi, Blair Beekman. Thank you.
Are you speaking on both items?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So yeah, I would like to comment that as how the MAD reports can work, it's my understanding, I'm hoping that as parking has been ended, parking commissions have been ended in San Diego, possibly the MAD source can be a way to bring parking and local small businesses together to discuss issues, to address funding concerns. Hopefully the tech accountability I work with can always be included in that. What can be the future of that and how to develop it well. You know, it's not just public safety with the tech, but it's how to have good civil protections with the public safety tech also. It's a balance of all of that, and good luck in working on those good efforts. I guess that's about it for myself on this item. I think, I hope the DRA doesn't feel disappointed. We have to address what is rhetoric and how we all address rhetoric. And there isn't one side that has a full-on place in rhetoric. It's a working effort from all of us. Good luck what we can develop. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Christopher Gomez. Please unmute. And then our final speaker after that is Robert. Christopher, please let me know if you'd like to speak on both items or which item you'd like to speak on.
Specifically to the maintenance assessment districts pertaining to the nonprofits.
Okay, 1 minute.
Thank you. I would first like to say thank you very much to Economic Development for their continued support and assisting our nonprofit corporations in assessing, or excuse me, facilitating the Maintenance Assessment District. My name is Chris Gomez. I am the Chief Executive Administrator for Little Italy Association. We administer 48 square blocks known as Little Italy in northern part of downtown San Diego. We have pressure washing, daily porter services, urban forestry, urban landscaping, and several other activations that we do throughout the year that help to support our business and property community. We are looking forward to seeing this move forward, so we request that the council approve this, and as well as the Park and Rec MADs. Thank you.
And we do still have another caller, Robert, and then Scott Kessler. The 5-minute timer has not concluded.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please proceed. Are you speaking on both items or which item?
Both items.
Please proceed. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. You know, it's interesting. You'd have to correct me on this point of order, whether you guys just cut off a public comment because you disagree with the content. And so I'd like to remind you of the violations that this board has already been involved with, right? You guys do quorum checks now, right? Well, are you also going to cut off every public speaker because you disagree with them? Are you going to take away the First Amendment from reporters doing their job, reporting on things? Like, what if we stop reporting on all the financial stuff and you guys just get to spend all the money you want? No one can ever call you out for spending the money. Like, what is the line you're willing to draw? Because I just saw you cut off a public comment check. I mean, are you going to do the same to me? You know, you think nobody's watching. We're all watching from home right now, and the audits will continue. Right? Like, even financial audits should start now. Like, we do meeting audits, and this is just a Brown Act violations that you guys seem to be committing by cutting off the public's right to be heard, redress grievance. You guys are walking into this knowing we're recording all of these meetings, right? Like, the evidence is you when you speak on that dais. And then when it turns on you, all of a sudden you have to shut us up from exposing it, right? That's your guys' great plan. Like, wait until you guys find out, okay? Because this is just us talking, right? And you can't even handle us talking. So I'd advise this council that if they want to be in violation of the Brown Act, continue to cut off public speakers. We'll make notice of that every time.
Time has concluded. Scott Kessler, if you can please unmute.
Good afternoon, council members. I'm the executive director of the Adams Avenue Business Association, or AABA, and we are in full support of item 202. AABA has managed MAD services along our 2.5-mile linear district since the early 90s after establishing our bid in 1985. Our district crosses through the communities of Kensington, Normal Heights, and University Heights and is split between council districts 3 and 9. AABA leverages its combined MAD and bid assessments by a factor of 5 to 1, raising an additional $500,000 annually, which gets reinvested in district activities and improvements. AABA was the first MAD the city allowed to self-manage its own services in the early 90s. The MAD, along with our other bid activities, has returned great value to our 800 business and property owner members for the past 41 years. MAD services include maintaining 415 street trees, which provide a lush urban canopy, and the emptying of 40 trash cans and removing litter and graffiti throughout the corridor every day of the week.
Sir, I'm sorry, your time has concluded. If you're only speaking to item 202, the timer was incorrectly put, but if you're only speaking to the Economic Development Department, that was a minute. Thank you for your comments. Hector, I have unmuted you. If you'd like to speak on the topic of the maintenance assessment districts, you will have 1 minute to speak on the actual topic of the maintenance assessment districts.
Okay, so on the maintenance thing, keep an eye, maybe have a public hearing on the different guys so they can show their paperwork. What do they spend on what, who gets it, if their brother's getting all the contracts with spraying, or if it's just, or it's straight, it's on the up and up. It probably is, but they probably want to come up and tell everyone about it. That here it is, here's the numbers, here's what we're doing, and we want some more money and stuff like that. But then I'm still want to voice the thing about the guys that are not citizens that are into these programs. they should be assessed double, or there should be some penalty for that. You know, where now that we have those, now that you have the license plates readers, we can kind of fine them if we have to, if they take off running. You know, if they get exposed, they might want to run, which happens. Even you guys get exposed, you might want to take a vacation or take care of your dog or something, or my dog has a headache, I gotta go.
Your time has concluded. That concludes public comment on these items.
All right, thank you, City Clerk, and thank you, Hector. With that, we'll turn it over to my colleagues, and your comments and questions can speak to both items, and then we'll be taking separate motions for 201 and for 202. Next, first on the lights is Councilmember Campbell.
Thank you so much. These items were heard in our committee, Communities and Neighborhood Services, and we appreciate so much your hard work and good presentation. And I wonder if you would help those who misunderstand, if you could explain to them in very simple terms what exactly a maintenance assessment district is and how the funds for it occur.
Thank you for your question, Councilmember Campbell. That's obviously the existential question for MADs, and the fundamental concept is that a MAD is a legal mechanism by which property owners can assess and create funds for improvements and activities in a defined location. And those frequencies and locations determine the boundary of the district. So in simple terms, it's a way for owners, property owners, to create ways to beautify and improve neighborhoods.
Yes, and can you discuss how the funds are raised for that?
Absolutely. So the funds are conferred upon formation. The first thing is it's sort of reverse engineered. Essentially, the services are defined, the frequencies, locations are determined, and then the boundaries are set. Within those boundaries, property owners are then tasked with funding the program through their property tax bill via assessments. And in that is an annual process that occurs that determines which services are continuing and which services are continuing at what rate, et cetera. And then at that point, the assessments are altered and changed based on, or sometimes they don't change based on the needs of the district in terms of service. And would Ree like to add anything?
Sure, I can add just an additional piece to that as well. For the assessments, each engineer's report for each district identifies an assessment methodology for calculating the assessment for each property owner. Generally, the assessment methodology involves building square footage of the property, at times land use as well. And so every year, and especially with this annual process, the assessment calculation is based on the latest data that our department engineers work off of to create or to prepare the total budget for each district.
Right. So in other words, people ask to be part of a MAD, and then they are given mechanisms by which this can be organized by the government. The mechanisms are given by the government, by the law, but they themselves are volunteering to do this to improve their neighborhood. And then they pay their assessed amount to help fund the improvements. The city and the economic department looks over them to make sure and audit that everything is kosher, everything is working well and working correctly and working honestly. And so with that, I would be happy to make the motion to accept staff's recommendation.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Campbell. So we have a motion to move the recommendation for item 201. We'll go next to Councilmember Whitburn.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Councilmember Campbell, for hearing this item at your committee. I would like to thank Parks and Recreation and the Economic Development Departments for your work and support of our maintenance assessment districts. District 3 is fortunate to have several MADs that improve the cleanliness and safety of our communities. Adams Avenue, First San Diego River Improvement Project, Greater Hillcrest, Little Italy, Mission Hills Historic Street Lighting, North Park, University Avenue, and Washington Street. University Heights and Washington Street. Everybody who resides, visits, or runs a business in one of these districts benefits from the enhanced services that MAD provides. And I especially want to acknowledge the people on the ground who perform this often physically demanding work, usually without recognition or praise. They work to keep our sidewalks clean, our streets watered and trimmed, and our parkways maintained, among all the other services they provide our city every day. Our neighborhoods are better off because of their dedicated efforts, and I'm happy to second the motion.
All right, thank you, sir. So we have a motion by Councilmember Campbell and a second by Councilmember Whitburn to move the staff recommendation for item 201. I don't see anyone else on the lights, so I will add my thank you to Park and Rec and Economic Development. Fortunate to have helped form the MAD under those two different umbrellas going forward, and do appreciate. And to the property owners, their first line is those, especially the self-managed ones, and those that they have appointed to represent them. And of course, we as a city are the backstop for that conversation going forward. So I appreciate what each of you do in your respective roles. The one question I wanted to ask was, some 60 years ago, the city really made a big push to really reach out to communities, to engage them in essentially government work, to be the eyes and ears on the ground. They know best what's happening in their neighborhoods and their communities. We have a pretty robust history in this city, often the leader across the country in that work. But of late, there's been some observations, maybe started with planning groups, some conversations about parking districts. Parking districts still exist. We're in a 2-year pilot, halfway through a 2-year pilot program. Let's not forget that. When you look at MADs through the Park and Rec Department, when you look at them through economic development, are we feeling pretty solid about the way we've structured them, the way we manage them, the oversight? Do we feel comfortable about that? You only come once a year, so I wanted to ask the question now.
No, thank you for the question, Councilmember. I think it's a very good one. And I think that, when we look at the broad scope of how the program works, one of the things that makes me proud to do my job is the collaborative approach with communities. It does me no greater joy than to drive through a neighborhood and know that because of our city efforts as city staff and working collaboratively with communities, that an area or a neighborhood is more beautiful and cleaner because of it. So that, to me, tells me that we are doing things right. Certainly, there are things we can evaluate and do better. That doesn't exempt us from continuing to better what we do. But I am proud of the relationship we have with our community groups, specifically in your district as well. I think in Parks and Recreation, we have a very good relationship with our Bird Rock Community Council and friends there. And I'll let Rhea expand on that.
Thank you for the question, Council President. I'm happy to respond from the Economic Development Department and welcome my management team over here to fill in on anything that I'm missing. In terms of economic development MADs, the self-managed structure, which is that nonprofit organizations are contracted by the city of San Diego to operate, to deliver the services, to determine the best composition of service delivery, whether that be in-house or through subcontracted vendors. That is one that for economic development MADs is, the MADs thrive when there's a nonprofit organization that is based in the community, that has local resources, relationships with property owners and businesses, that have essentially sort of that skin in the game. They are tasked with delivering services that their property owners need. And so in order for them to really be most effective in doing so is by involving the property owners in their operations in every sort of aspect of their work, when it comes to the volunteering for community cleanups, or determining the budget for the year, or whether or not they're doing their job. And so I think what I will add to that is our nonprofits have had to be very resilient within really the last year as well, with costs going up, as independent nonprofit organizations, they're having to be very nimble and adaptable to ensure that the services can be provided as approved by this council and as determined in their engineer's report. So hopefully that helps.
It does. Thank you for that affirmative response and very much appreciate the work. We know it's, with so many of them, there's a lot of work, a lot of buckets you got to be checking along the way over the course of the year. All right, Councilmember Campbell? Oh, okay. So we do have a motion by Councilmember Campbell and a second by Councilmember Whitburn to move the staff recommendation for item 201. Please call the roll, clerk.
I'm sorry, the voting system, please cast your vote. And that passes unanimously 8-0 with Councilmember Foster absent. Thank you, Council President.
All right, I take your motion for item 202, Councilmember Campbell.
Yes, as previously on this item, I recommend and I move that we adopt staff's recommendation. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And I see a second by Councilmember Whitburn. And with nobody else on the lights, we have a motion by Councilmember Campbell and a second by Councilmember Whitburn to move the staff recommendation for item 202. Please call the roll, clerk.
I've set up the voting system. Please cast your vote. And that passes unanimously 8-0 with Councilmember Foster absent. Thank you, Council President.
All right, thank you. Again, thank you for your good work. And with that, clerk, please introduce item 200.
Thank you, Council President. Item 200 is the fiscal year 2027 Downtown Property and Business Improvement District Annual Report and Budget. If you'd like to speak on this item, please be sure to submit your speaker slips to the front of the room in the clear box, or if you're joining us virtually, now's the time to raise your hand by pressing *9 or the raise your hand icon. Thank you, Council President.
All right, thank you. This item is solely ensconced within District 3, and I believe Councilmember Whitburn, you're interested in waiving the presentation?
Yes, happy to waive
All
the
right,
presentation.
I don't see anybody else requesting the presentation. So with that, clerk, let's go to public comment.
Thank you, Council President. We do have some speakers for this item. Maximilian Schmidt, if you can please come forward to the podium. And then allegedly Audra, and then our final speaker is Alonso Vivas. Allegedly Audra, if you can please come forward.
Okay, give him 2.
And you guys wave in your presentation. You act like the presentations are for you guys. I mean, some of the public would like to see them so they know what's going on, but go ahead and pretend that they're for you guys and so you can wave them because nobody needs to hear it. You already know how you're going to vote. And I'm just wondering, when are we going to see improvements? You guys talk about it. You do a really great job bringing presentations, a lot of paperwork, you know what I mean? Good storytelling. Wondering when we're going to visually see this around us. Is there a date that you guys plan to release that? 2030, when Trump's gone? And then you guys can be like, look at what we did. We did such a good job. I mean, because like, people are shitting on the sidewalks, you know, and peeing everywhere because you guys don't have any bathrooms for them. But as long as we move them down the road, you know what I mean? You can start moving the shit into somebody else's neighborhood and just say, we clean this up. Look, isn't it great? We told them to move down. Homelessness is gone. We are doing fantastic. Right? You just don't go down a couple of blocks. Like you guys, it's so sad. It's just interesting to see the way the government really works. Like I've had this like firsthand experience with it for years now. And it is interesting because you guys are very good at pulling wool over people's eyes and making them believe that what you're doing is like bettering our lives, that you're providing public safety and you're combating homelessness and you're providing affordable housing. You know what I mean? It's like good salesmen. I mean, just like Steven looks, you guys are good car salesmen. You know what I mean? It's interesting. I'm just wondering when you guys are actually gonna do what you were put up there to do. Actually, you are. That's true. You're up there to do what you're, so good job. I mean, just keep going. Good job.
Alonso Vivas, if you can please come forward. Oh, you are Alonso Vivas, okay. Well, you have speaking slips here for 6 minutes.
Thank you. Promise not to take the full 6, just take about 2.
If I can just have the following individuals then raise their hand, Justine Murray and Danny Garcia. Thank you so much. You'll have the 6 minutes. Please proceed.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Council President, Council members. My name is Alonso Vivas, Senior Vice President and Executive Director of the Downtown San Diego Partnership, Clean and Safe Program. I'm here today in strong support approval of the fiscal year 27 Downtown Property and Business Improvement District budget. For more than 25 years, the Downtown PBID has successfully overseen private partnership, providing enhanced services beyond the city's baseline through assessments paid entirely by downtown property owners. We greatly appreciate the council's support for PBID renewal last year. Today, the PBID serves 280 blocks and approximately 11,000 property owners through downtown while supporting 86 dedicated employees who work daily to keep our downtown clean, safe, and welcoming. Since renewal, we have expanded services to more than 8 downtown parks and responded to over 41,000 service requests. In the first 9 months of this fiscal year alone, our crews collected more than 1.1 million pounds of trash, removed over 64,000 instances of human and pet waste, power washed more than 42,000 sidewalks, and removed 26,000 instances of graffiti and stickers. Our safety ambassadors completed more than 95,000 service requests, conducted over 30,000 individual welfare checks, and performed more than 68,000 safety patrols through downtown. The PBID also continues to invest in downtown's appearance and vitality through maintenance of more than 100 neighborhood planners, public art installation, gateway beautification projects, and the Adopt the Highway program, which currently has 2 major downtown entrances. Our operational enhancements include sidewalk deep cleaning, rapid response teams, and a fully based service request system have further improved efficiency and service delivery. These investments help create a cleaner, safer, and more welcoming downtown while leveraging private investment to enhance shared public goals and improve quality of life for residents, businesses, employees, and visitors. On behalf of the Downtown San Diego Partnership, we respectfully request your approval of this item today. My colleagues and I are available to answer any questions. Thank you for your time and continued support.
Go to those participating remotely. Blair Beekman, if you can please unmute.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, the fact that you haven't funded any sources for bathroom help in the downtown area is of concern. And I mentioned it earlier, how we address our unhoused and homeless, I think we're going to have to look a bit more closely at in the next coming year. Good luck how we can do that. And thank you for this item. Good luck that downtown could be a safe place and that we can bring back, oh man, I got 1 minute, 33 seconds. I'm going to say this with all I got. You guys ended the, no cars along Fifth Avenue at the nighttime. And I hope you can bring that back. I mean, that was like a major idea of how to bring back our future communities as pedestrian walkways. And not that everything's filled with busy 10 tons of traffic all the time. Why did we give that up? I'm like really shocked that you guys don't want to continue pedestrians use late at night along Fifth Avenue and a couple other avenues downtown. I hope we can talk about that practice again and make that just a regular conversation why we aren't talking about that. That should just be our basics of our future sustainability and our future selves, that we have walkways with no cars. And man, I need that kind of conversation from you guys a lot more regularly as just a free-flowing love of what our best practices are. Thank you.
Thank you. Hector, if you can please unmute. After that is Robert.
All right. Thanks for taking my call. Hey, thanks for clarifying that. When I heard the word assessment, our condo a few years ago was assessed at 800,000, and now they're selling for 650. So we fought the assessment we've been fighting it again too, to get it brought down to reality. That's with the county. So when I didn't know it was voluntary assessment. You said voluntary at the end. And then, okay, it's voluntary assessment. I thought it was just when the assessment, the county assesses it and that's it. You got to fight it. You got to agree with it or pay. You got to pay no matter what. And it's got like 50 things on the tax bill. You know, this bond measure, this thing, that you really start counting them. All sorts of things are on your tax bill, property tax bill. So they did lower it once. We're going for it again too. And they're doing the assessment. So, but that downtown, one thing they got to develop, a guy would make a fortune if you could get us something that would eliminate the smell of dog urine. I used to work down there, and you get down there by Food for Less in those areas in the morning, it's like, it's dog urine. It's not like a human fecal stuff so much. It's mainly everyone's got a dog and they're pissing on the limited trees. I don't see how there's a tree that's even alive down there, you know, just because all the dogs. And every time in the morning, man, it just smells like, it's like that movie. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. There, it's like you're smelling that dog piss in the morning. But they're doing a good job down there. They're trying. All the guys on bikes are doing good. The Padres want it clean. And I disagree with about getting rid of the homeless shelter, though. That's a brutal thing. That's just brutal. Because those guys that seems to be working, or whatever working means, but it's just brutal to do that, man. Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Next is Robert, if you can please unmute.
Hello, thank you. You know, I find it highly inappropriate that the member sitting in a closed off area, sitting next to staff, makes a public comment instead of us hearing a presentation. I mean, how am I, a member of the public just viewing this, supposed to make a public comment before the guy sitting next to staff makes his public comment, which is basically the presentation, right? If it's got nothing to do with the presentation, why do he tell you all the good things that they're doing? You know, so you guys got to be transparent. I don't know when you guys are going to get it. Like, oh, you guys sat there, you released the paperwork, what, 72 hours before the meeting? So people had 3 days to look over the paperwork, and you won't even do a simple presentation. And then he comes on during a public comment and says a presentation, and everybody just sits there and never even mentions it. I mean, this is your guys' dais. This is how I'm observing you run the meeting, is instead of being transparent, you'll hide it under public comment, and the rest of us got to make do with the information we get from that, instead of you putting it all on a plain, level playing field, giving us the information, and then letting us all hear it before we make a public comment. I mean, if he's sitting there next to staff, I'm assuming he is staff. So why wasn't that done during the presentation and done during the public comment? What are you guys trying to hide? That's what I'm looking for, because at this point, he should have went up to the public comment mic and spoke like the rest of us. Just like the rest of you on the dais should do if you want to make a public comment during an item. Do you use your time to speak, or do you use our time to speak?
Your time has concluded, and that concludes public comment on this item.
Thank you, City Clerk. We'll now turn it over to council members for question comments, entertain a motion, and we'll go to Council Member Whitburn.
Thank you very much, Council President. I very much appreciate the work of the Downtown Property and Business Improvement District. These are special benefits that are paid for by downtown property owners, but they really benefit anybody visiting downtown. Those services include maintenance and safety, unhoused care, business attraction, beautification, and much more. If you don't already know, if you are downtown and you notice trash or graffiti or something unsafe, you could use the Clean and Safe app to report the issue. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Clean and Safe ambassadors respond nearly immediately to resolve reported issues. We are very fortunate to have the leadership of Mr. Vivas, the Executive Director of the Clean and Safe program, sitting up here, as well as Senior Program Director Danny Garcia and Director of Clean Services Ernesto Romo, Partnership Vice President Justine Murray is here as well. Thank you to the entire team for the hard work to keep downtown clean, safe, and welcoming for residents and visitors alike. Also want to recognize the economic development team that works closely with our PBID to ensure a thriving downtown. These services really do provide a great benefit, and I'm happy to make the motion to support the staff recommendation.
All right, thank you, council member. So we have a motion by Councilmember Whitburn to move the staff recommendation. We'll go to Councilmember Campbell next.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the presentation, and thank you for all that you do. I second everything you said. You help so much to make downtown a welcoming place, and I am happy to second the motion.
All right, so we have a motion by Councilmember Whitburn, a second by Councilmember Campbell to move the staff recommendation. Clerk, please call the roll.
Start the voting system. Please cast your vote. That passes unanimously 8-0 with Councilmember Foster absent. Thank you, Council President.
All right, thank you to staff for the good work. Clerk, please introduce item 203.
Item 203 is the California Coastal Commission modifications to the 2024 Land Development Code, update of the San Diego Municipal Code and local coastal program. If you are here and like to speak to this item, please be sure to submit your speaker slips to the front of the room in the clear box. If you are participating remotely, now's the time to raise your hand by pressing *9 or the raise your hand icon. Thank you, Council President.
All right, I see staff is starting to settle in. When you do, introduce yourselves for the record and let us know how much time you need.
Good afternoon, Council President and members of the City Council. I am Angela Dang, an Associate Planner with the City Planning Department. Joining me today is City Planning Deputy Director Seth Lichney. The item before you today is for the adoption of the California Coastal Commission modifications to the 2024 Land Development Code update to the San Diego Municipal Code and local coastal program. The City Council adopted the 2024 Land Development Code update on July 16, 2024. The 2024 Land Development Code amendments to the San Diego Municipal Code and local coastal program included 99 amendments to the municipal code intended to simplify the city's development regulations, make the code more adaptable, eliminate redundancies and contradictions, and increase predictability in the application of regulations, comply with state law, correct existing regulations, and provide regulatory reforms. City staff submitted the 2024 Land Development Code update for Coastal Commission certification on September 10, 2024. After reviewing the Land Development Code update on February 5, 2026, the California Coastal Commission conditionally certified the 2024 Land Development Code update to the Municipal Code and Local Coastal Program with 3 modifications. The Coastal Act requires the city to approve any proposed modifications prior to the amendments to the Local Coastal Program taking effect in the coastal zone. If the modifications are approved by the City Council today, the 2024 Land Development Code update and modifications will be resubmitted to the Coastal Commission for final certification. The 2024 Land Development Code update amendments removed the physical environment as a condition for the denial of incentives in exchange for affordable housing dwelling units through a density bonus. The original strikeout language erroneously included the word including, which could be interpreted in a manner inconsistent with state law. The first Coastal Commission modification corrects this grammatical error by striking out the word including and adding the word on before environmentally sensitive lands. This amendment aligns the municipal code with California Government Code Section 65915, which removed the specified adverse impacts to the physical environment as a condition for the denial of incentives for projects proposing a density bonus. The 2024 Land Development Code update included regulations regarding the granting of incentives for affordable development. These regulations clarified that the granting of incentives for affordable development would not require a land use plan amendment, zoning change, study, or other discretionary approval. The second proposed modification amends Municipal Code Section 143.0740C3 to clarify that granting incentives for affordable development shall not require a land use plan amendment, zoning change, study, or other discretionary approval except as required to comply with the California Coastal Act. The 2024 Land Development Code update also included regulations regarding the granting of waivers in exchange for affordable housing units through a density bonus. These regulations clarify that the granting of waivers would not require a general plan amendment, zoning change, development permit, or other discretionary approval. The second proposed modification amends Municipal Code Section 143.0743C to clarify that granting incentives for affordable development shall not require a general plan amendment, zoning change, development permit, or other discretionary approval, except as required to comply with the California Coastal Act. Staff recommends the City Council adopt an ordinance to approve the Coastal Commission's modifications to the 2024 Land Development Code Update amendments to the Municipal Code and Local Coastal Program. The City Council's approval of the modifications will allow the 2024 Land Development Code Update to receive final Coastal Commission certification and all code amendments associated with the item to take effect in the coastal zone. If the council makes any amendments to the modifications, the entire 2024 Land Development Code Update will need to be resubmitted to the Coastal Commission for certification. This could result in additional delays in implementing the 2024 Land Development Code Update within the Coastal Overlay Zone. This concludes staff's presentation, and we are available for questions.
All right, thank you for the presentation and the work to bring us forward. Clerk, please proceed with public comment.
Thank you, Council President. Maximilian Schmidt, I don't see him here, so allegedly Audra, if you could please come forward to speak on this item.
I have to address a point of order because the fact that that man from Downtown Partnership just spoke during public comment on duty while he's doing a presentation, you can't do that. That's not only a misuse of public funds, it's like, that's against the Brown Act. You guys continue to do this. I just don't understand why you'd be like, let's waive the presentation, and then not in his personal capacity, but representing Downtown Partnership, he's getting public comment while presenting you guys with a presentation. So there's significant issues with the way you guys are running these meetings. These are procedural errors that are so simple. And again, it's like, if we can't trust you to run a meeting to make sure that you're not having somebody speak in their technical personal capacity under an entity, like, what the hell is going on? And you guys want to be like, oh my gosh, Audra, you're being disruptive. Like, are you going to send the officers after me again, like you did with the quorum, when all of a sudden now you guys are checking to make sure you have quorum? Where you tried to criminalize me for holding you accountable? Like, these are the basics that you guys can't even follow. And you're so annoyed, Joe, but it's like, fuck, can't you guys just do your job right? Instead of getting it mad at me for calling it out? I mean, all you guys have to do is you just sit here and witness you guys left and right violating the law. And it's annoying because it's like, you just want to act like, what? We're up on a dais and like, people put us here. Like, what are you going to do about it? That's what people need to see, is the arrogance of you guys, that you sit up there and you act like we're untouchable. You can't do nothing to me. What are you going to do? Because I'll use your money to go after you and silence you. And it's just sad, but people need to see this because you guys can't be trusted.
Start the 5-minute timer going to those participating remotely, starting with John Stump. If you can please unmute.
Hey, thank you very much. Well, I'm very pleased and support these amendments to the flawed development code. You know, the last time I spoke to you concerning the amendments to the development code, I asked that you continue and correct, so you could correct the doubling of fees from $1,000 to $2,380 for the public's participation in protesting a environmental determination by staff. I, at that time, presented to you the fact that there were errors in the staff report that you received justifying that raise. The main error, of course, was that it was Ipsy Dixit. It was, well, we're going to charge these fees because we said so. And second, it was based on just raising the fees for a regular council meeting when the amount that you're supposed to recover is for a quasi-judicial hearing. So please, if you can do it to correct the errors that were in the Coastal Commission, please redocket and correct the errors in doubling the fees for public access to a judicial hearing. You've got in the basis of your fees, the defendant, the mayor's staff, and the city attorney as being charged to the plaintiff, the appellant. Please
Your
redocket.
time has
Thank you.
concluded. Thank you. Robert, if you can please unmute. After that is Blair Beekman and then Hector.
Thank you. Thank you, Dias, for confirming my suspicion that that speaker was giving a presentation. I'm pretty sure we all agreed upon that. We'll talk about your next mistake, right? You guys approved something to the Coastal Commission that has errors. They approved it, sent it back to you, and now you're trying to get it reapproved with the corrections, even though they already approved it, right? So they didn't catch your error. Okay, let's talk about a whole nother thing, that the people who own the property don't even need your permission to do these things, right? They can just do it without, it's called the right to build it, right? They have the right to oversee your power. You have no control over them. The only people you guys have control over is us. And then you make our lives like impossible to not come here and disagree with you guys while you guys are sitting there looking at Newsom when he's making your life great, because now all the stuff that the developers want to do, they don't need none of your environmental studies. They don't need a zoning redistricting. You don't need nothing. They can do it without your permissions. They're laughing at you. You guys are like the laughing stock of this right now. And then the fact that you're resubmitting an error just proves the point that this board is not perfect. All right. You guys make plenty of mistakes, and it's time you start fessing up to them. Because like I said, even the dais, the person speaking said that was a presentation. Thank you for the presentation. Did I get thanked for my public comment for calling it out? No, you just don't like the people who correct you. Right? You only want to hear from the people who agree with you and support your positions, right? So, it's a big joke. Do you want to hear a joke about a bunch of political people? Are you going to silence me too for that one? Ha ha. It's called freedom of speech.
Blair Beekman, if you can please unmute.
Hi, Blair Beekman. I felt the joke previous was about to border on hurting public meeting decorum, to be perfectly honest. Free speech is important, so is public meeting decorum, and that line was about to be crossed. For this item, thank you for the person's public comment overall. Along with DRA, I think they have a very interesting point that we really need to hear the presentations, and passing them up really robs what is going on with an item and better understanding it. And for the person to then come back to the public meeting dais to give public comment, it sounds a little odd. I'm going to have to understand this better in the future. So good luck with that. Good luck in us understanding that better. I wanted to comment for this item that you guys have been giving away a lot of land lately, and it's been of concern, city government land, because the city government land is always a really important asset. And I know we're in difficult times, but I hope you can be cautious about that, or use that caution in your explanations why you're giving up the land and and things like that. So good luck in those types of efforts, what you can do. As always, as my words these days on Coastal Commission things, when you're doing things like, the Midway Rising project, we really have to be clear on what the sea level rise issues are about with the project. It just makes for a better process for everyone in understanding what we're doing. And if you don't explain that clearly, that's your city government staff's going to not talk about sea level rise issues for other projects more clearly. Get the meaning here? We're supposed to be open about these things. And that way we build on real good truths that we can all work towards as a community instead of hiding things and keeping things halfway. And good
Your
luck.
time has concluded. Hector, if you can please unmute.
Thanks. Yeah, dealing with the state is so shady now. Like, our number one concern should be building a state-of-the-art water treatment plant in Tijuana River, just for all the kids that live down there and the adults. Above everything else, like this, I wouldn't give the state any more money. Just make them an excuse, or until we get the sewer plant built, state-of-the-art, man, and have a reservoir down there and do gray water, turn it into a gray water they can do fields with. But anything with the state, it's really shady, because like even the fire money, the governor's wife with her nonprofit ran off with the money and then disappeared her nonprofit the next day when they found out about it. And then blaming Trump. And talk about hate, man, today. There's a lot of Trump haters on the board. You guys got as much hate. I don't hate Somali people. I don't hate black people. I don't hate Mexicans. I don't have the time to hate them. But I just don't want them living here if they're illegal. We've got other things to do to get our city back. We got to build a dam in Lake Hodges. That's going to take a lot of stuff. We got to clean up all the sand in the Tijuana River. There's huge amount of sand that's just sewage, man. There's a lot of things we need the money for, and we can do it in San Diego. We don't need the Coastal Commission telling us what we can do at the beach. We have thousands of people that give a shit about our city, and we don't need their advice. And we don't want to model ourselves out of Oakland and San Francisco. Those guys are shithole cities. Those guys are shithole cities, man. Oh, man. And we got it here in San Diego, man. I'm down at the trolley station down Mission Valley. It's beautiful down here. There's nobody down here. But anyway, good luck.
That concludes public comment for this item. Thank you, Council President.
All right, thank you, City Clerk. Audra, I thought you would be so good at reading people's faces that you'd be able to read mine. It has nothing to do with you. You were on point. Robert was on point. I was so pissed that that individual was sitting up there, but I chose decorum, let him finish. We'll have a separate conversation. I agree, totally inappropriate for that individual to be sitting there in chambers. Not you, the previous item, I'm sorry. But you're right. I chose decorum, let him finish. Won't happen again under my watch. Since I am one of the council members, the two council members in the coastal zone, thank you for the good work. Thank you for your patience in chasing this for, 2 years now. And I will move approval of the staff recommendation. Councilmember Campbell.
I second it. Thank you.
All right. Not seeing anybody else in the lights. We have a motion by myself and a second by Councilmember Campbell to move the staff recommendation. Please call the roll.
I've set up the voting system. Please cast your vote. That passes. Sorry, I didn't realize. That passes unanimously with Councilmember Moreno and Councilmember Foster absent. Thank you, Council President.
All right, thank you. So that's the last discussion item of the day. We will now take up non-agenda public comment. Council members respect and appreciate the public's